following is a special presentation of ESPN College Football on ABC.
The State Fair of Texas in Dallas. Since 1929, the host site for one of the most storied rivalries in all of sports. Bob Stoops Sooners, led by a quarterback that can get his third win in this series today. And Texas Mack Brown in his 15th year in this game with one of the most accurate quarterbacks in all of college football. Crimson and cream, burnt orange and white. OU, Texas, Red River rivalry is on. And welcome to college football presented by Buffalo Wild Wings for the 107th time. Here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, it's the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners. Number 15 against number 13. And we welcome you to Dallas, everybody. Brad Nussler along with Todd Blackledge. Partner, you and I have been here before. The game never gets old. It always has a huge meaning. I think the meaning this year might be more so. Both come in with one conference loss, and without a Big 12 championship game this year, you pretty much have to win this one.
Absolutely. There's a tremendous sense of urgency on this game because the winner of this game stays right in the thick of things. The two undefeated teams in the league, West Virginia and Kansas State, are good, but certainly beatable. But if you lose this game, now you're just playing the rest of the season and trying to get to the best bowl you can.
When you go back in the history of this game, and especially as the Longhorns take the field, the matchup between Bob Stoops and Mack Brown teams, there are some definite trends in this series.
There really are. I mean, the playmakers in this game this year are pretty balanced. So what trains the game over the last several years are two things. Whoever runs the ball more effectively and whoever takes care of the football more. Never more in doubt than last year. Texas came into the game. They were forced into 5 turnovers, and 3 of those turnovers, Oklahoma turned into touchdowns by their defense. That swung the game. It was a huge blowout on the favor of Oklahoma. So running game and turnovers really tell the story in this matchup.
As Mack Brown told me yesterday, this is a feel game. Somebody's going to feel good. Somebody's going to feel bad. This presentation of college football presented by Buffalo Wild Wings continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Number 13, Oklahoma. The Sooners come out. They've won the last 2 in this series. And when these two teams get together, it's always oh so special.
A river runs through it all right. Running through history, rolling through time. A boundary between territories and teams. Billy and Earl, Barry and Dow, Sam and Colt, Bob and Matt. Half the crowd crimson and cream, half the bowl burnt orange. Half in ecstasy, half in misery. 12 months in 4 quarters, 60 minutes for 365 days. For rank to maintain, for regard to reclaim. Boomer Sooner, hook 'em horns, high noon, deep cotton, Red River. Let it flow.
The first time they got together was 1900. Texas leads the all-time series. Look at the number of combined wins. What a scene, what a story. Third member of our team on the field, if she can hear me, Holly Rowe.
Barely. It is so awesome out here, Brad. It's so exciting. But you talked about the importance in this game of turnovers and that trend. Well, remember, last year, Texas was splitting time between 2 young quarterbacks, Case McCoy and David Ash. Well, they're settled at that position this year. David Ash actually has been terrific. In his last 6 starts, his numbers compare favorably to senior Landry Jones. In fact, they're a little bit better. Jones at times this year has had some issues with turnovers. That was a key factor in their loss 2 weeks ago to Kansas State. And last week against Texas Tech, he cleaned it up, was turnover-free, and they got the win. He will be facing a lot of pressure from that Texas defensive front, especially their defensive ends. Will it be the senior or the first-year starter completely, David Ash, who keeps the ball today?
It'll be Landry Jones Holly that'll get his hands on it first. Mac Brown, his 15th year in Austin. Second to Frank Beamer among active coaches. And Bob Stoops, 142 wins in his 14 seasons in Norman. The sun comes out as we get set to kick off. Texas won the toss. They deferred. So Nick Rose will kick away. Roy Finch and Brennan Clay are back deep. Of the back of the end zone and out to the 25 come the Sooners. A sensational career. It's amazing that people can criticize this young fella. He's got 100 touchdown passes and 32 wins. A win today, and he passes Steve Davis, the legendary Steve Davis from the 70s, as the all-time winningest quarterback here.
Well, and he's won 2 times in a row in this rivalry. The last 2 years against Texas, he's played brilliantly. Last year, threw for 367 yards and 3 touchdowns in this ball game, and he'll want to get off to a good start. I think the biggest challenge for Texas's defense, though, is immediately to defend the run, because that's where they've been hurting here recently.
Damian Williams in the backfield will get the toss on the first play. And Williams only got about 2 yards before he's dragged out of bounds. Let's take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Damian Williams, the #1 tailback now. Justin Brown, transfer from Penn State. Big kid with big play potential. And Tony Jefferson, defensively, is a guy that'll take your head off back there in the secondary. He's their leading tackler.
Oklahoma still in that no huddle, Brad, but not going as fast this year as they have the last couple years.
Here in a pistol set. Williams behind Jones. Play action. Wide receiver screen, and Texas blew that screen up. Carrington Bynum. Wow, that was well played.
A lot of Oklahoma's throw game happens within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They like to get the ball out quick and let their playmakers make people miss.
Quick snap. Jones on 3rd down, down the middle, and completes. And it's a first down. Trey McGuire, the freshman, pick up a 15.
Now here they go with some tempo. They get the first down of the game, and now they get up and want to go a little bit fast.
They fake the stretch. Jones throws on the run, and he throws a strike across midfield, complete to Kenny Stills.
They love the stretch play. That's their favorite run play, and it's their favorite play action. They faked it right there and threw quickly to Stills for another first down.
Into Texas territory on the opening possession. Now Williams hit at the line, knocked backwards. Going to lose a little bit. Kendall Thompson with a tackle, along with Alex Okafor.
This Oklahoma offense still has a lot of talented players, but they've not had the big plays this year. Coming into the game, only 13 offensive plays of 20 yards or more. That was the lowest in the Big 12. Very uncharacteristic for the Sooner offense.
Part of that because of the departure of Ryan Broyle. 2nd down, 11. Backfield is empty. Now it's not. Draw play. Miller taking it to the corner. Tough guy goes all the way down to the 40-yard line. Pickup of 9 for the fullback. I love it when the fullback gets a little sugar.
Absolutely. He's a valuable guy, a real versatile guy, good in pass protection, can run it, can catch it out of the backfield, can line up as a tight end.
It was his 10th carry of the year. It almost got him a first down. 3rd down and a long yard. Birds in the backfield with Jones, and he's going to run it all the way. I don't think they've run a quarterback draw in 2 years.
I think they brought Bell in to run that.
It was. I beg your pardon.
The Bell dozer, we normally see this around the goal line, not so much in short yardage.
He stays in there. He can throw, but normally it's this. Got a nice block out in front, but he's tripped up. Good job by the defensive line of Texas and Dorsey. Now Jones comes back in, and we got a Longhorn down. That's Steve Edmond, the middle linebacker.
They're already hurting at linebacker position. Jordan Hicks, their key guy, is out again. He's missed the last couple weeks. Manny Diaz's defense has had some problems at the linebacker position. Edmond in there in the middle, Kendall Thompson in there in place of Jordan Hicks. They've tried Dalton Santos, number 55, who may be coming in now for Edmond, but that's been the one area defensively where they've struggled. Now, they've played the last 2 weeks, 2 outstanding offenses in West Virginia and Oklahoma State, but their linebacker play has really hurt them in stopping the run game.
Todd said their last 2 weeks they faced, at the time, the #1 offense in the country. That's kind of tough against the defense.
And without your leader, you know, I mean, Jordan Hicks was not only a great player and a tackling machine, but he was kind of the old head of that defense and could get everybody lined up in the right spot and make sure everybody was on the same page. And they're missing that a little bit right now with their defense.
Mac Brown looking on, his defensive stalwart in the middle, getting up very slowly. And he's going to have to be helped to the sideline. That's going to be a long walk for the sophomore out of Dangerfield, Texas.
And unfortunately for the Longhorns, a relatively weak position just got a little bit weaker.
Oklahoma's already lined up. They're ready for the 9th play of their drive, which is 2nd down and long at the 32-yard line. There's Hicks. Todd was just talking about him. Got his jersey with him, but he's just kind of helping coach today. And Edmond almost to the sideline. As you can see, the Sooners are chomping at the bit here because they've got great momentum going on their opening drive. It's taken them to the 32-yard line. Everybody looks to the sideline. Now we're set, 2nd down and 8. Jones across the middle, complete, 1st down. Justin Brown, and Brown, one of our impact players, a 12-yard pickup.
Well, Justin Brown is a big target at 6'3", 210 pounds. It's almost like a tight end kind of body in the middle of the field. Shows his numbers to Landry Jones, sits down on the spot, and they get another 1st down conversion.
Nice little rub there, huh? With another receiver right in his path. Jones is 4 for 4. Sooners sitting basically on the 20-yard line, and they have been exceptional in the red zone this year. Williams. Tough run for about 6.
Again, on that play, because Oklahoma has shown 3 and 4 wide receivers, Texas tried to get away with not having an extra linebacker on the field. They went with a dime defense, 6 defensive backs, and they were still able to run for over 5. Now they've got Santos in, number 55. He's a freshman. He played against Oklahoma State a couple weeks ago and had some issues, but he's going to have to step up.
There's your red zone numbers. Very impressive. Williams dropped for a loss on this one.
That's how you stop the run. You get penetration from your defensive line. You've got some issues at linebacker, some injuries. Your defensive line has to step up, get penetration into the backfield, and log jam things.
3rd down. One of the linemen for the Sooners limping out, so Tyrus Thompson's going in, I think, to play left tackle. Lane Johnson. That was Bronson Irwin, actually, that limped out. 3rd down and 9. Texas sneaking up there like they may blitz. And timeout taken by Oklahoma. We'll take it too. 10:16 remaining. 1st quarter, no score, but Oklahoma threatening. Aerial coverage being provided by the MetLife blimp. See how MetLife can provide the coverage you need. MetLife, I can do this. The Sooners trying to see if they can do this. 3rd down and 9 at the 19.
You mentioned Tyrus Thompson in at left tackle. Here's Jeffcoat, number 44. Probably licking his chops.
Snap came before Jones was ready. Lob to Millard. Millard cuts back inside. Going to be short. Now there's going to be a decision time. 4th down and about 2 feet.
What a great call by Josh Heupel, though. They used Millard to chip on Jeffcoat to help the tackle. Watch Millard go and help and then slip out in the backfield. This was a design play. Get a chip on the end and then drift out, and nobody picked him up out of the backfield. Excellent call.
Not much of a decision. I guess Bob Stoops leaves his offense out there. So here's the first big play of the ball game. 4th down and a yard. And Bell is back in at quarterback. They look like they're linemen short. They're running guys out and back. Confused, I think, because of the injuries on the offensive line as to who should be out there and who shouldn't. Here comes another one out.
I think they're going to have to call a timeout. They do have some personnel issues right now. They got to get worked out.
So the whole team will come over and have a chat. Let's check in with Allen.
Well, guys, the confusion for Oklahoma came when Tyrus Thompson, their left tackle, number 71, his helmet popped off on the previous play. So because of the new rule, he had to come out. Well, unfortunately, Farniok of Oklahoma ran out thinking he was supposed to take his place. But then Lane Johnson came out, number 69. So too many guys on the field, they have to take a timeout. But it's all because the helmet popped off.
There you go. Thanks, Holly. I didn't see that. Well, they burned 2 timeouts now in the opening 5.5 minutes. Forget coming up tonight. This would be a good one. Number 3, South Carolina. Number 9, LSU. 8 o'clock on ESPN, presented by Hampton Hotels. The visor against the hat. Steve and Les squaring off. Big game in the SEC tonight, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, the question I have is, will South Carolina be able to play at a similar level as they did last week at home? It was kind of a perfect storm against Georgia. I think LSU is going to rally tonight and play really well.
Blake Bell, the Bulldozer, in there at quarterback. And this is usually where they utilize him.
You know, last week against West Virginia, Texas.
Number 71's helmet came out on the previous play. He must set out for one play.
Tried to sneak back in after the timeout.
Now he's going to come back out.
Yeah. Last week against West Virginia, the Texas defense held the Mountaineers to 3 for 12 on 3rd down, but they were 5 for 5 converting on 4th down. Really was a story of the game last week.
Bell tucks it, puts his head down, and bulldozes his way, or belldozes his way, if you will, for 4 yards, and it's 1st and goal.
Blake Bell taking care of that football in the loss to Kansas State. Landry Jones had a fumble and an interception, but Blake Bell had a costly fumble right at the 1-yard line as they were going in to score that also prevented them from putting points on the board.
Bell stays in there. 14th play of the drive. He has thrown 5 passes this year, Bell. All of those against Florida A&M. They completed 4 of them. This is just student body right. Bell, a stiff arm inside the 5 and inside the end zone. Touchdown. Blake Bell's 4th rushing touchdown of the year, and Oklahoma strikes first. Pretty good looking drive, Led.
Absolutely. Mostly on the ground. You know, a couple key throws. Not a whole lot of tempo. They didn't go super fast, but they were super efficient.
Michael Honeycutt in for the point after. Whoops. That was a bad-looking everything, and Texas has got a chance. Quandre Diggs going the other way. Texas score.
In a game like this, with the crowd split 50-50, momentum swings heavily on plays like this. They give up the touchdown. Tress Way not able to handle the snap. Probably should have just tried to run it. Instead, Diggs is able to pick it up and get Texas on the scoreboard.
Quandre Diggs for the 2 points for the Longhorns. That's a crazy score. Halfway through quarter number 1, 6-2 Sooner.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beers, sports. Hyundai. Go online and show your loyalty to your school at HyundaiShowYourLoyalty.com. And UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Nothing like having some big plays in the opening 6 minutes and change. Oklahoma leading 6-2. Botched extra point that Quandre Diggs took 90 yards the other way for a 2. But it was an impressive opening drive, 75 yards in 14 plays. Landry Jones was 5 for 5 for 45 yards, and then Bell, the guy standing in front of him, did the rest on the ground. Honeycutt to kick. Short kick. Taken away up at the 13-yard line by DJ Monroe. Monroe, nice little move to pop it out to the 29 as Todd brings us back to the touchdown.
Well, first of all, Tyrus Thompson finally got his helmet squared away, and they got him as a tight end. Then you got a pair of fullbacks that are going to lead this play out. Aaron Ripkowski, 48. Trey Millard, number 33. They just got a lot of bodies on the right side behind a 250-pound quarterback. They outnumbered him, and then they outmuscled him to the end zone.
So we see David Ash for the first time coming out for the Longhorns offensively. He's been sensational as far as his accuracy this year. 78% completion percentage.
Been really good on first down. They've thrown very effectively on first down.
Marquise Goodwin in motion to the top of the screen. First offensive snap for the Longhorns, and it's tipped and incomplete. Corey Nelson got a hand on the ball. David Ash played this game a year ago, but he wasn't as polished as he is right now, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, he was splitting time with McCoy. Neither one of them looked like they had a handle on the position. He made some bad decisions, made some bad throws. A completely different quarterback this time around.
There's Case on the sideline. Holt's little brother. Second down 10. And he's going to keep it. Nobody out there for help, and he's going to lose 4 yards. Tony Jefferson, one of our impact players that we talked about for Oklahoma, makes an impact early. Speaking of impact players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Take a look at Texas. Jonathan Gray, the freshman, I just had this feeling he's going to have a breakout game. Jackson Shipley, much like his brother, always big in this matchup. Okafor and Jeffcoat, those two defensive ends, highly talked about him in a pregame. They can apply a lot of pressure on a quarterback. There's a lot of pressure on this quarterback right now because it's third down and 13.
And as much as you want to stay on the field, David Ash has to be very smart here. Very difficult situation.
4 receivers out there. He's hit as he throws. Incomplete. R.J. Washington hammered Ash as he was trying to wind up to throw that football.
Well, the Oklahoma defense dominated that possession. They got the tip pass on first down. They got the loss of yardage play on second, and they got the quarterback on the ground in third.
Alex King is going to have to punt it away. So a 3 and out for the Longhorns. Justin Brown back deep as the punt return man. He might have a shot at this one. He will from the 20. And only got about a 2-yard return. Nice coverage down there by the Longhorns. 54-yard punt. David Ash felt the heat on that first series. 6-2. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Sooners take the field at the 22-yard line. Midnight Madness last night. A little bit of madness here at the State Fair in Texas today. 6-2 early. Landry Jones in at quarterback. I mentioned he was perfect on the last drive. 5 for 5. Williams cuts up inside. The running's tough against that front 4 of Texas.
You know, the thing that both of these defenses present to the other team that they've not seen is strength inside. That time, excellent pressure on the inside by Ashton Dorsey. Forced that run to go back the other way, and they got the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. But both Oklahoma and Texas are stronger at the defensive tackle position than any other team in this league.
Jeffcoat, who made that tackle in a stand-up spot at right defensive end there on second down and 11. Williams is going to empty the backfield, and a quick slant complete. Justin Brown again, his second catch. He's hard to bring down. I mentioned big fella. 6'3", 209 pounds.
Very quick read by Landry Jones. I mean, you talk about this guy's experience. He's seen everything. He's seen every defense, every coverage, every kind of blitz. That time he saw Diggs, the corner, on a blitz. He recognized it right away, threw right out to the voided area where the blitz came from to bring up a third down and manageable situation.
32-9, tied for the most wins with Steve Davis, who's here today, was part of the pregame show for the Sooners Network. Before the game, had a chance to say hi to Steve. Also a 32-game winner.
Timeout of the half.
Timeout. 6:29 remaining first quarter. A month ago, you thought the Texas defense was pretty stout. Then the competition got better, including the last 2 weeks against then the #1 offenses in the country. Texas looking for a stop here on 3rd and 3. Ball batted in the air, incomplete. Brandon Moore, I think, got a hand on it, and so they did get the stop.
Yep. Well, when you play a team that throws the ball as quickly as Landry Jones in Oklahoma, you're not going to get home on sacks all the time, but you can still get your hands up in the passing lane and make plays, and that's exactly what Moore did, and they got the big stop on 3rd down.
So Tress Way to punt. And the other end, Quandre Diggs set to receive.
Texas thinks they can get a block punt in this game. They worked a lot on it Thursday.
They bring in the heat. They got close. Diggs is going to have to let it bounce. And it's going to roll down inside the 25 to about the 22-yard line. 49-yard kick. Let's take a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Allstate. These would be the mock BCS standings because they haven't come out yet. But Alabama would be #1. Oregon, South Carolina playing tonight against LSU, who's in the #8 spot. Notre Dame, it's as high as they've been in a long, long time. Georgia rounds out the top 10.
My top 5's a little bit different than that.
We're going to see that later, aren't we, Todd?
I think we might unveil it.
Jonathan Gray, the freshman, who was one of our impact players in the lineup for the first time. They fake the handoff to Goodwin, and Gray gets a carry. Plows his way up the middle for 4. This kid, everybody thinks is going to be awfully special, and probably sooner rather than later.
Well, he's got a body that doesn't look like a freshman. He's 210 pounds. He's solid. Got great speed. And he has an awareness of the game. There's a maturity about him. Pretty special.
They'll try him again. This time only about a yard on the inside. Going to bring up 3rd down at 5.
I talked about the inside tackles of Texas and how disruptive they can be. Same thing for Oklahoma. Again, Texas's offense has pretty much had their way with everybody this year, but they've not faced a defensive front as physical, particularly on the inside, as the Sooner defense.
Jay Johnson in the lineup in the backfield with Ash. 3 wideouts to the right side. Lobs it over the middle. It's complete, but it's short of the 1st down. Jackson Shipley comes up 2 yards shy.
I think the biggest difference in the Oklahoma defense this year, with Mike Stoops back with his brother as the coordinator, is they have eliminated the big play. They have played much more solid, particularly in the back end of their defense. They're covering better, and they're eliminating big plays.
You see Bob on the sideline as Alex King is set to punt. 2nd straight 3 and out by Texas. Good kick. Justin Brown's really got to travel to just get to this one, and then he has to let it roll, and that is going to put Oklahoma in a tremendous hole. Some great matchups in this series. A lot of us don't remember 1958, and then some of us do. Former Sooners quarterback, now Texas coach Darrell Royal led the Longhorns against Bud Wilkinson. Texas slowed down the powerful Oklahoma ground game, escaped with a 15-14 win. That would mark the first of 8 straight wins for Texas. And during that losing streak, Bud retired, and Darrell Royal cemented his legacy.
Yeah, I have to say, I have absolutely no recollection of 1958.
I don't have much, but I have some. No one else working this game has any recollection of a lot of things. They're going to spot it just inside the 5. It was a 65-yard punt and roll. Williams so far hasn't been able to get anything going on the ground. for the Sooners. He's had 5 carries for 1 yard. They fake it to him, and Jones throws, and he overshot Millard, his fullback, who was open. Much like you said earlier, even though Landry Jones is the veteran, be careful down here.
Absolutely. I mean, he's thrown 5 interceptions this season already as a senior. A couple costly ones. Turnovers are a big story of this game, year in and year out.
Got a 4-man backfield to try to give him some protection to throw. If he throws, he won't. It'll be Williams. And he found his first opening. He's into the secondary. Damian Williams across the 30. If he gets a block, he might be gone. Williams, touchdown. 95 yards. His average just improved.
Yep. And that has been the problem for this Texas defense all season. Coming into the game, they have allowed 35 runs of 10 yards or more. That's worst in the Big 12. That one was a whole lot more than 10.
The wide receiver's got some great blocks out there for him, and his longest run of his life. As Honeycutt comes in for the point after. That extra point is good.
Well, they caught the Texas defense perfectly because, first of all, Millard is going to get a block on DeMarco Cobbs, and Kenny Vaccaro, their safety, is going to blitz from the outside and run right by Damian Williams. He runs right by the tackle, and then he's already into the second level. Justin Brown with a nice block, and watch this block by Stills, the other wide receiver. Brown, the first wide receiver. Stills with the block that keys it to be a touchdown. Perfect call at the right time for the Oklahoma offense.
And then not only is he packed into that body, 208 pounds, but he's got speed to burn. So first it was a long, methodical drive the first time they had it. And then it was a quick strike, 2-play, 95-yard drive. All of it was that guy.
And the methodical drive you can kind of live with because you can make adjustments. That's the one that kills you if you're a defense.
Yeah.
Because, again, coming in, Texas's defense, way too many explosive plays they've given up. You have a chance to get a stop, flip the field, give your offense good field position. Instead, you're down 2 touchdowns. Or I guess 11 points, not quite 2 touchdowns.
The 3rd longest run in Oklahoma history. From the goal line, Goodwin. And he's not going to make the 20. Check in with Holly again.
Well, Damian Williams made himself known to the Red River rivalry quickly. And guys, it's crazy because Brandon Williams, an OU running back, transferred late last year. They suddenly found themselves in need of a guy that they weren't expecting. So in December, Cale Gundy called him for the first time at Arizona Western. It was a kind of a miracle because Josh Heupel, the offensive coordinator, had some friends on that staff. Things just seemed to fit, and Damian Williams grew up in California with Kenny Stills, some of the other Sooners. He quickly felt at home, and boy, now he's really feeling home here in the Cotton Bowl.
Boy, that's for sure. 4 minutes, 4 seconds remaining first quarter. Texas has got to get something going on offense after a couple of 3-and-outs. Bergeron will get the carry here, and only got a yard. Casey Walker, defensive tackle, made the stop. I think it's vital that they at least get a first down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. They've got to get some kind of momentum going offensively, let their defense rest a little bit, get some corrections made on the sideline, get themselves and their crowd back in this game.
Shipley and Davis, the wide receivers for David Ash. Play action on 2nd and 9. Again, he just sort of lobs it out there to Roberson. And Roberson got near the first down. Still 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, good play, though, because at least they've got a manageable 3rd down situation now. And coming into the game, second best in the country on third down, the Texas offense converting 58%. But this is the first one they've had that's been relatively manageable.
Oklahoma State, the #1 team in that capacity, is Major Applewhite, co-offensive coordinator, former quarterback for the Longhorns. Third down, 4.
They're going Wildcat on this third down and 4.
With Gray in there to take the direct snap. Gray not going to get it.
Ball
and a ball came out at the end. Was it blown dead? No, it wasn't. Oklahoma's got it. Tom Worth, the middle linebacker. And things are really going haywire for the Longhorns.
Tom Wart met him right in the hole. Now, I think his knees may have been down before the ball came out, but it was a beautiful play by Tom Wart. Was not fooled by the Wildcat formation. I think Texas is going to get the ball back and be able to punt it.
The ruling on the field is a fumble and a recovery by the defense. The previous play is under further review.
Mike DeFee, our referee. David Ames, our replay official.
But the problem, again, just like you said at the start of this possession, they needed to get a first down. They weren't close to getting that first down. And 3 consecutive 3-and-outs for an offense coming into the game that was averaging almost 500 yards a game.
I think that was the best look right there, Todd. And I'm with you, but we'll wait and see what the officials have to say. Either way, they're going to have to give it back to Oklahoma. It's just a matter of what spot on the field or if they punt.
Yeah, but it's huge because, again, the turnovers have told the story in this game. And if you give Landry Jones and this offense a short field right here, they might blow you right out of the Cotton Bowl in the first quarter.
Last year was Oklahoma 55-17. Texas doesn't want to feel that sting again.
And again, in that game last year, the Oklahoma defense forced 5 turnovers. Oklahoma only had 1, and 3 of those turnovers were returned for touchdowns. 1 interception return, 2 fumble returns by the Oklahoma defense, and the blowout was on.
Texas came in +7 in the turnover category. They don't want to start losing that battle. Rushing game and turnovers. We talked about it in the open. So far, Oklahoma's got a 95-yard touchdown run and a quarterback touchdown run. And again, we wait to see. The ruling on the field was a fumble. It appeared, at least to the two of us, that Gray's left knee was down just a split second before that ball popped out. Oklahoma leading 13-2. The 2 courtesy of a bad snap, a botched extra point by Oklahoma that Quandre Diggs took 90 yards in one direction. So we've had 2 of the longest plays in the history of this series in the Cotton Bowl, a 90-yard 2-pointer and a 95-yard run. And here comes the call.
After further review, the runner was down prior to the ball coming out. It'll be 4th down at the 27-yard line on the right half. We'll wind the clock on the ready for play.
So the Longhorns avoid a complete catastrophe, but they still have to punt it away. And we said that Jonathan Gray make an impact. He got his knee down in time. Alex King to kick. His last punt went 65 yards as Justin Brown had to get out of the way of it. And it took a great roll for the Longhorns. Brown from the 20. Made the first man miss. Got a nice return of about 15. And hit the bench on the sideline. Those benches don't give much. 54-yard punt. 19-yard return for number 19, and then he's taken out of bounds. He hits the metal on the sideline.
Yeah, the benches really don't move much when they're propped up by fans behind them. They got big fans blowing on the sideline over there that are holding those benches in place. Ooh. Still pretty good field position for the Sooners. Nice return.
We got a coach down too. I did not see that the first time. We'll check on that while The Sooners take over with great field position, 38-yard line, only with 177 total yards. Williams, who has a bunch of that, won't get any there. Lost a yard. Jeff Coat, the defensive end, made the stop. So even though Williams has lost yardage on most of his carries, one took him the length of the field.
You can live with that.
That's right. That average is not going to come down too much. Second down and 11. Jones fakes the end around, throws a screen pass to Miller with a head of steam, puts his head down and gets the first down. He's a tough dude out of the backfield.
Again, his versatility really is a weapon for this Oklahoma offense. There was a lot going on that play. A lot of play fakes. They faked a reverse. They faked an inside run. And Millard was able to slip out.
Football right at midfield with 1.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Oklahoma moving again.
Haven't seen a shot deep down the field. Might be a good spot here at midfield for Landry Jones to take a shot at something.
Huge difference in all categories, including the scoreboard, 13-2. Jones, this one's tipped again and knocked down by Okafor. Those two defensive ends, they have played the best football so far in this quarter for the Longhorns, but they're about the only guys that have.
Well, they've played the best so far this season for this Texas defense. They've combined for 10 sacks. He and Jeff Coat. Okafor particularly has played at an extremely high level. But again, when a quarterback gets rid of the ball as quickly as Landry Jones, it can be frustrating for a great pass rusher like Okafor.
Second down at 10. Jones comes up, lets his offensive line know the call. In a noisy Cotton Bowl. Blitz coming. Millard on the run this time, and another first down and a hurdle job to the 35. 15 yards for Trey Millard.
Good recognition from the sideline. Blitz came this way, so they run this way. Then that call came from the sidelines as the coaches saw the defense change the play.
Now they fake the stretch, and Jones wants to throw deep and does to the corner. Incomplete. Justin Brown, the intended receiver. Quandre Diggs was back there in coverage.
Landry got a little greedy on that one because he had the back, Damian Williams, out of the backfield. After the fake on the stretch, he could have gotten an easy 7 to 8 yards, but he wanted to take a shot with his big receiver down the field. Diggs was in good position.
Neal and Stills and McGuire, the wide receivers, and Brennan Clays check back into the backfield. On a 2nd and 10, Oklahoma at the Texas 35, and it will be Clay. Takes a big hit, but got almost 4 yards out of it. And the first quarter winding to a close.
Biggest play of the game to date right here for Texas. Their defense needs to rise up and get this 3rd down stop, force a long field goal attempt potentially,
and then get some rest. They've been out there the whole game.
Kenny Stills has been pretty quiet in the game so far. And remember, he's playing a new position this year. He's in the slot. Ryan Broyles was the slot receiver for the last several years. He was outside. He's still their go-to guy.
First quarter dominated by Oklahoma. End to 1, 13-2. This presentation of ABC's college football presented by Buffalo Wild Wings will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We're playing in Texas, but the Sooners actually have a shorter trip to get to the Cotton Bowl. From Norman, it's 190 miles. From Austin, it's 197 miles. And it's crimson and cream and burnt orange and white, right down to 50.
Yep.
Thanks, Todd.
Pretty cool scene.
129th time we've played this one here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Since 1929. They started in 1900, and this is number 107.
See, they went with the motion to see if it was man or zone. Texas showed their hand as man. Now they changed the play.
Jalen Saunders just became eligible this week. Kenny Stills on the catch. Saunders is one of the receivers out there, and inside the 20, pick up a 15.
When you put a receiver in motion, if the defender runs with them all the way across the formation, that tells the quarterback and tells the offensive coordinator man coverage. So now you've got your key guy on the outside, one-on-one. Take a shot and get the first down.
Remember, we told you the red zone efficiency for Oklahoma. They've already scored once when they got down there, when they put Bell in to do the running. When they got down, they're going to leave Jones in there right now at quarterback. But Damian Williams behind him. First down just outside the 17. Stills in motion again, and it's Williams. Cuts it inside. Tough run. Got it down to the 10.
See, this is what he's given them. I mean, we saw the burst on the long run, but where he has really benefited them is running between the tackles. He's kind of a downhill runner. So even though the stretch zone play is still their favorite play, they'll run some inside power stuff with him because he's a pretty physical finisher of runs.
We mentioned he's lost yardage on a few plays, but that 95-yarder keeps the average pretty impressive, as you just saw. Try him again. Williams hit short of the first down. Going to bring up third down and pretty much third down at 2.
Well, this is Belldozer time. And what we've seen earlier in the game with Bell is we expect to see him in this part of the field, but they kind of changed up and put him out there in the middle of the field on short yardage and then kept him in for the next play. We'll see if they convert here, if he stays in the game.
10th play of the drive. 3 out of 5 on their third down conversions. Got the extra fullback in there. Bell on third down at 2. Waits and now takes off. Flags are down, and he's going all the way to the goal line. But again, a penalty marker on the play.
They outnumber you on that side.
Offside. Defense. Number 74. Lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty's declined. Result of the play. First down.
So they take the play, obviously, to the 1-yard line, the 1-foot line, actually.
They put an extra offensive lineman on that side of the formation, lined up in the tight end position. And then they've got that big fullback Millard leading the way and a 250-pound quarterback. And until you prove you can stop it, I'd keep running that way. Run to the right behind all those guys and see if Texas can stop you.
So far, they haven't. Can Bell get his second touchdown of the day? Heading to the corner. Yes, he can. Touchdown, Sooners. Things not going well for Texas. Bell with his second score on the ground.
Very efficient offense today for Oklahoma. They showed signs of it last week against Texas Tech. After struggling in the home loss to Kansas State, they had a week off. They looked really good last week in Lubbock. They look even better today against the Longhorns.
That win in Lubbock was over the then #1 defense in the country, 41-20. And now they're putting 20 on Texas with a long ways to go in the second quarter. Flags down on the extra point.
False start. Kicking team number 68. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
Officially the first penalty of the game because the others have been declined, so it's going to be a little bit trickier extra point. Honeycutt will have to back up. This one, in essence, is a 25-yard field goal. Still good. 12:39 remaining first half. If you're a Sooner fan, you got to be happy with the way the Belldozer is motating today. His second touchdown. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Basically dominated this football game by the Sooners. They had 1 3 and out. The rest of the time 75, 95, and 62-yard touchdown drives. 239
yards of offense in the game so far for Oklahoma. 10 first downs. Texas has still yet to make a first down. They need a spark in a big way.
Texas offense has run 9 plays for 14 yards and 3 and outs. Still waiting for a Longhorn first down, as Todd said, from the 2-yard line. Goodwin trying to get to the outside, and he's unceremoniously taken out of bounds. Flags down. We're going to add 15 added on to that.
Best play that they've had so far.
Yeah.
A 15-yard penalty.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Number 2 of the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Julian Wilson with the late hit on Goodwin. Right there, you might as well let him go.
Yeah, just a little extra shove. There was one that was close on Justin Brown on the Oklahoma sideline that didn't get called, but that one did.
That one was right into the coaching staff at Texas. That might have had something to do with it. Let's see if the Longhorns can get anything going on offense. Good starting field position at the 37-yard line. And nothing there. Loss of a yard. McFarland with a hit on Gray as we check in with Robert Flores for the first time today. Robert?
Hey, Brad, it's a Taco Bell studio update. It has been a rough start of the season for the Auburn Tigers. They are trailing Ole Miss 14-0 after C.J. Johnson recovers this in the end zone. And they are now trailing 14-7 second quarter to Ole Miss. The good news is they got a spot in SportsCenter's Not Top 10 this week.
Got to have a bright spot in there somewhere. 2nd and 10. Jeremy Hill's in the backfield with Ash. Wants to throw a screen. I guess not. He came across the middle instead. McFarland dropped it.
Well, I don't think McFarland was expecting the ball. You're right. There was a screen being set up to the right side. McFarland was just kind of running a clear route to help the screen, but he's got to know the quarterback may come to him at any point. Now again, a 3rd and long. Talk about Ole Miss. This offense had 676 yards against Ole Miss in Oxford a few weeks ago. I wish they were still there.
Texas maybe wishes they were playing Auburn. 3rd down and 10. Ash running out of time. Still breaks away. Somehow got free, and then it's dropped. The pass to G.J. Graham. Maybe a little bit behind him, but they needed that play.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how Ash got out of the sack to begin with. I mean, he's a strong guy, 6'3", 225 pounds. David King had him wrapped up. And this was going to be another negative play, a punt. Somehow he gets out of it. And you're right, it is a little bit behind the receiver Grant, but Texas has to find a way to come up with that play.
Busiest Longhorn today is this guy. Alex King to punt. Justin Brown, fair catch. Just a dive to make it on this one. Around the 24-yard line. Right now, all Oklahoma with 11:29 to go in the first half. You're watching ESPN's College Football on ABC.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Cadillac, the standard of the world. Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Mas. And AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, we think possible.
A little bit of the midway here. Texas State Fair in Dallas. 20-2 Oklahoma. They got the ball back. Landry Jones, play action, wide open. Millard, the fullback, and he's just going to rumble and hurdle, and he might take it. Millard all the way to the 5-yard line. How many big plays is this kid going to make in one game?
Unbelievable. I mean, Miller does a great job. He slips out unaccounted for. I think the middle linebacker, Steve Edmond, lost track of him. But watch the shoddy tackling. I mean, this should be about a 10-yard gain. Instead, it's another gash-type play against this Texas defense that results in a touchdown.
Basically a stiff arm and a hurdle job all at the same time.
Now,
against Texas.
How about this?
Half the distance to the goal. First down.
How about this? To add insult to injury, Texas gets a penalty because one of their players was by the sideline and an official ran into him running down the field. And so not only do they give up the big play with their defense, they get a penalty on their sideline as well.
Ooh. Longest pass play for Oklahoma this year. 73 yards, plus the penalty to the 2-yard line. And now guess who's in at quarterback?
And guess where they're going?
Blake Bell, same spot. Not this time. Texas stops him at the line of scrimmage.
I gotta believe that Oklahoma has in their goal line package with Bell a play similar to what Florida ran with Tim Tebow when he was a freshman, where he catches that snap, takes a couple steps towards the line, then drops back one and throws a little jump pass. I would guess it would be wide open if they would go to that.
2nd and goal. Bell will try to run up the middle this time. Did he get there? Not quite. Had the ball in his left hand as somebody got a hold of him. I think had he been able to stretch the ball over the goal line, it would have been a touchdown.
Tried to break their tendency that time. They've run right. That time they ran the counter back to the left side away from the extra blockers, and Bell was almost able to get it in.
3rd down and goal. Inside the 1. Blake Bell. Ring up another one. Touchdown. Third of the day for Blake Bell. Pretty nice 1-2 punch. Landry Jones, a 73-yard play to the fullback, and then bring in the 254-pound 6'6" cornerback to do the rest. That's the guy that got the big play that got him there.
He gets the big play that gets him down inside the 1. Then he's the lead blocker when they decide to run it for the touchdown.
Doesn't look like that missed extra point earlier is going to matter, does it? 27-2. 9:41 remaining first half. 77-yard march, 73 of it right there. Trey Miller got him close. Blake Bell got him in for his 3rd score of the day. Back at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas here in the 2nd quarter. Time for our trivia question. Since 1912, the Red River rivalry has been played here in Dallas. Only 3 games since have been played someplace else. Norman in 22, Austin in 23. Where was the 3rd game played? This one, Bevo is going to lose patience here soon if the Longhorns can come up with some offense. Honeycutt's kick. Marquise Goodwin's about 6 yards deep, and he's going to take a knee as we check in with Robert Flores.
All right, Brad, here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now, brought to you by HP. Number 6, Kansas State, short touchdown run from Colin Klein. They lead Iowa State on the road 10-7 2nd quarter. Duke University, 5-1, off to their best start since 1994. They now lead Virginia Tech 20-7. Jordan Bias, the pick 6. Blue Devils, looking good.
Boy, could become bowl eligible for Duke.
David Cutcliffe.
12 plays, 14 yards for Texas offensively. And you see what Oklahoma has done. Ashok play action. Throws incomplete, intended for Shipley. David King got up there in the air, may have altered the throw a little bit.
From the very first play of the game, there's been somebody coming right at the face of David Ash. And for the entire season to this point, he's had a pretty clean pocket to work out of, especially on first down play action. But Oklahoma has really been able to get in his face today, and consequently, nothing going for the Texas offense.
Texas' longest play so far on the day, 5 yards. 4 wide receivers here on second down and 10. They fake the fly sweep, and they're going to go deep down the left sideline. Caught. Finally, something positive. Mike Davis with a catch.
You have to win some shots down the field because Oklahoma loves their corners. Aaron Colvin is their best cover guy. They trust him in man coverage. He's in perfect position, but the throw was beautiful by Ash over the outside shoulder, away from Colvin, 1 foot down. I mean, that's the way you have to beat bump and run man coverage. You've got to throw accurately against tight coverage.
First down, pickup of 31 to the Oklahoma 44-yard line. Now back to an I backfield. Joe Bergeron, the tailback. They fake it to him. Ash wants to go deep again. And this one's intercepted at the 15-yard line. Aaron Colvin.
They went after him twice. The first one, they got him. The second one, they didn't. You talk about a cornerback having a great cornerback has a short-term memory loss. That's exactly what happened. He gets beat on the fade. He comes back and reads the quarterback. It's slightly underthrown by Ash. Under pressure, and watch Colvin slip inside a good one on the underthrown ball and make the pick.
Colvin's second interception of the year, second straight week that he's had one.
His interception last week was right at the line of scrimmage on a corner blitz. He stopped, went straight up in the air about 40 inches and snagged it. That one was just as pretty.
There you see Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator, on the sideline. Mike told us before the game, we may not be great at any spot, but we're pretty darn good at all spots on his defense. Just proved it there. Takes away any kind of scoring threat that Texas might have had here with 9 minutes and 7 seconds remaining first quarter. They can go to the ground game as much as they want right now with a 27-2 lead. Williams, and his helmet comes off at the end of the play. So that'll bring him out for one play at least, and Brennan Clay will go back in there. Second down at 4. Bob Stoops, who has the edge over Mack Brown in this all-time series. These guys have been squaring off for 14 years. Play hit at the line, bounced off for a yard maybe. Reggie Wilson in on the tackle.
Well, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing so far from Oklahoma. I thought coming into this season they had a great chance to make a run at the whole thing, the national championship. I thought Bob Stoops and Mike Stoops would coach with a chip on their shoulder after last year. I thought Landry Jones would play with a chip on his shoulder. They're doing that here again today, as they did last week. That Kansas State loss, I'll talk about it in a minute after this play. They let some things get away in that game.
They're down at 3. Millard in the backfield. Jones is going to fire on a slant. Got Justin Brown. Big gain, and he breaks away. Again, bad tackling, and now a face mask at the end at the 50. That'll be 15 more on top of a pickup of 28.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 23. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down. Bindon,
the cornerback.
The beauty of Justin Brown, he's such a big target coming across the middle of the field. Landry Jones accurate. He's not going to come down. Don't try to rip the ball out. You know, you're not going to win the game with a turnover at this point. Make a solid tackle, and then they get the face mask at the end.
So at the 35-yard line, Oklahoma on the march again. Sooners with a big lead with 7.5 to go in the half. Play, no gain on that one.
I go back to the Kansas State loss that Oklahoma had in Norman. We talk about turnovers in this game. That was the story of that game. 3 Oklahoma turnovers against 0 by Kansas State. And, you know, Bill Snyder, who coached, Bob Stoops and Mike Stoops both were on his staff. Kansas State is a team that's not flashy. They're physical, they're determined, they got a gutty quarterback in Colin Klein, and they do not beat themselves. And they went into Norman and won the game because they took care of the ball better.
See a 4-receiver group here for Landry Jones in the pistol with Williams behind him. And on first down, the quick throw is a little bit high. Millard, the intended receiver. And Steve Edmond, the middle linebacker, was covering number 33 on number 33.
Yeah, wide receivers, tight ends, a little more accustomed to getting their head around quickly on an out route like that. Millard coming out of the backfield, a little slow getting his head around. Landry may have thrown it a little sooner than he had to.
Third down and 10. They go quick snap here. Jones throws too high for Justin Brown.
That's where Landry gets himself in trouble, when he starts drifting in the pocket. He started moving out to the right on that time, and the ball sailed when he threw to the outside. He didn't need to get away from pressure on that play. Stay in the pocket, step into your throw, and make an accurate throw.
It's fourth down and 10, but they're out of field goal range for Mike Honeycutt, so the Sooners are going to go for it here. They're 1 for 1 on the year on fourth down conversions. This would be a big one. Fourth down and 10. Texas needs a stop in a big-time way.
They just went with a quick snap, and Texas showed their hand. Kenny Vaccaro showed that he's blitzing from the outside, so the sideline changing, and now we got to delay a game.
Now they'll punt.
5-yard penalty, fourth down.
So that didn't quite pan out, and they'll kick it away. So finally, Texas gets the bleeding to stop for a second anyway.
Yeah, they'll take a stop any way they can get it at this point.
Quandre Diggs, who has the only points of the day for the Longhorns, on a botched extra point that he took 90 yards the other way. And he'll drop back at the 10-yard line, awaiting Tressway's punt. Low snap. Way hits it way up in the air. Diggs just gets out of the way and down at the 1-yard line. And that's Justin Brown on the special teams.
He's the punt return guy. And in that case, he's the punt downer guy. Down there is a gunner. Can't do it any better.
For a gunner, he's a downer. It's been a downer for Texas so far today. Back at the State Fair at Texas. Try those long free throws. Hope those rims are straight. There was the Aflac trivia question for you since 1912. Game's been played only 3 times. Once in Norman, once in Austin. Other than being here, where was the third one? Houston, 1913. And I do not know why that is, but now you know the answer. Texas from the 1-yard line. Can they get it out of there? No, they can't. Safety, Oklahoma.
I guess the Sooners wanted that 2 points back.
Yes, they did, and they got it.
I mean, this is a heavy lineup for Texas. They've got 4 offensive linemen on the left side of the formation, and they get no push. Oklahoma beats them to the punch, not even close, getting out of the end zone.
First guy that made contact was Jaden Bird, the middle linebacker, and then he got help from his friends. And as Todd said, they get the 2 points back.
And that just can't happen for the Texas offensive line. They've got a center, a guard, a tackle, and 2 more offensive linemen outside of that, and they got no push on that side of the defense. And
it gets worse because the Sooners get the ball back on the upcoming free kick. Wow. 29-2. 6:28 remaining in the first half. If this was a NASCAR race, this would be a crash on turn 3. Stage is set at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Brad, Jimmy, Danny sit 1, 2, 3 in the chase. Jeff Gordon's there in the rearview mirror. Bank of America 500 in Charlotte tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern time, right here on ABC.
Kind of cool that you're on a first-name basis with those guys.
I'm tight with those guys.
Yeah. Denny.
Yep. So Nick Rose will have the free kick coming up. Kenny Stills and a group of Sooners are back around the 35-yard line. Absolutely nothing has gone right for Texas so far.
I don't know that I've been a part of a more one-sided half of football since we've been together. I don't know.
Yeah. I was talking about an Ohio State Rice game I did a long time ago. I think it was 70-7 when it was over, and I hope that one doesn't get repeated here today. Brennan Clay from the 11-yard line. Clay found an avenue, got all the way out to midfield. Got a second here. Let's check in with Robert Flores.
All right, Brad, Dr. Pepper 10 conference update. Kansas State looking to start 6-0 for the second straight season, but getting a tight game from Iowa State. Jared Barnett to Ernst Brunn Jr., who stretches and scores, but K-State just scored, so they now reclaim the lead, and we'll continue to update that game. Brad, back to you.
That Big 12 game, this Big 12 game is all Oklahoma. Scoring offense, 47 a game coming in, 2 points today. Rushing yards 209, 5 today. You see the rest. And Mac is writing a lot of things down there to talk about at halftime, which is 6 minutes and 21 seconds away. Williams wrapped up by Edmond, but not before he got 7 more yards. Damian Williams might be on his way to a 200-yard game today.
A lot of talk coming into the game about some of the injury problems Oklahoma has had on their offensive line. They lost 2 starters before the season even started back in August. Ben Haber, their center, Tyler Evans, their starting right guard, out for the season. They lost another backup guard last week at Texas Tech, but well, I tell you what, they have controlled the game so far in the first half here.
They lost Nila Casatati to an ACL, and Williams rolls out to another first down. There's the guys we were talking about that they're missing. The guys they got out there playing today are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, they really are. And that's why I think Oklahoma, even though they're behind Kansas State and West Virginia in the standings, 2 undefeated teams, I still think they're the best team in the league because of their strength on the offensive line and defensive line.
I don't know if those folks are going out to get a corny dog at halftime or if they're just going out to get out of here. Mostly Texas fans in their burnt orange as Williams again 7 more yards. There's the scene outside the Cotton Bowl. That's not a good scene. Again, it might be just going out to get a beverage or something deep fried. Right now Texas can't tackle Damian Williams. They do stretch it out and run him out of bounds, but he got 9 more yards.
Well, this is a tired, discouraged, frustrated Texas defense that's out there right now. They're trying to roll some new guys in, but they can't get off of blocks right now. I mean, Oklahoma's not doing anything fancy. They're just running basic running plays and just gaining 5 to 7 yards a crack.
I don't blame them for being tired. They've been out there as long as you and I have been up here. First down, back in the red zone, 17-yard line for the Sooners. Play action. Jones fires outside wide open to the 5 is Justin Brown, and it's 1st and goal.
See the difference on that throw on the deep out route for Landry Jones when he plants his feet and throws as opposed to when he drifts out of the pocket. No need to. You got protection, set your feet, throw on time, and another first down.
And they go quick count. 1st and goal from the 6. Williams got it to the 3. Bell still on the sideline. He's got 3 scoring runs already today. And again, quickly, Oklahoma comes up to the ball. 2nd down and goal. Williams. And he's close, but short by about a foot.
Again, we see the versatility of Millard. That time they lined him up as the tight end on the left side of the formation. I mean, he has had a big-time impact on the game, mainly as a blocker, and I'll pretty much guarantee he'll be the lead blocker for Bell on this one.
Got a Texas Longhorn down. I think it's Reggie Wilson, defensive end. And so play stopped here with 3:46 remaining in the half. And with that injury, we already saw Bell take the field. Oklahoma 29 28-2. And Ledge, you said a couple minutes ago, you and I have been doing games a long time together. I don't think I've seen this lopsided a half.
You know, and I know we saw Mac Brown jotting down some notes. I don't know what he can say to him, because right now their defense has showed no signs of being able to slow Oklahoma down at all. I mean, I'm sure he'll talk about pride. He'll talk about heart. He'll talk about trying to play the second half as a whole new ball game, you know, for the rest of the season. But Oklahoma has been dominant in the first half. And, you know, again, you start looking at Oklahoma and you say, hey, they are right in the thick of things in the Big 12.
As we said, with no Big 12 championship game this year, they win this one and then go ahead and take care of their business and hope the Kansas State trips up. The big picture could include the biggest game. You never know. Bell's back in there at quarterback. Line of scrimmage, you see, just outside the 1-yard line.
So you have an extra offensive lineman lined up as a tight end on the right, and you have 2 fullbacks lined up to the right. Guess where Bell's going to go?
Bell scored 4 touchdowns last year against Baylor. He scored 4 touchdowns in the first half against Texas. Now the celebrations in the stands are even a little bit muted. It's so one-sided right now. And you see the anguish. That tells the story on the other side for the Longhorn fans. Four touchdowns on the ground for Blake Bell. Extra point is good. It's 36-2.
Well, they just outman you. You know, they've got 3 offensive linemen right here, and just for the heck of it, they put a 4th one in here and let him run on the pull. You got 2 fullbacks leading the way. That's just a lot of bodies. And then a 255-pound quarterback on top of it.
And his second effort's what got him in. And Oklahoma, our kids out there firing up the crowd. The crowd, as I said, has gotten kind of quiet because they're so used to seeing them score. We've got almost 400 yards of offense for the Sooners, and we still have 3:28 to go in the half. Last year, 55 points in a 55-17 win. And you see the yardage. Today, they really haven't even need the turnovers. They got that interception.
Yeah.
Every time they get their hands on it, they take it the length of the field or whatever length they have to. And when Texas offense can't do anything, 1 first down, that's why you have 36-2. Michael Honeycutt's leg might fall off just from kickoffs and extra points today. And again, Texas will take a knee and start from the 25-yard line. 6 teams in the top 25, highlighting our Saturday night's coverage on ESPN's family of networks. 6 o'clock on ESPNU. Florida looking to remain undefeated. They take on Vandy at 8 on ESPN. It's number 3. South Carolina, number 9, LSU. And at 9 on ESPN2, the Vols meet number 19, Mississippi State. And on ESPNU, it's number 22, Texas A&M. Look out for undefeated Louisiana Tech. It's a lot of action coming up later on.
Some tricky ones in there. I think Tennessee's good enough to play with Mississippi State. Pull an upset there.
David Ash throws over the middle, completes. And P.J. Grant, the tight end.
You know, the thing that's amazing, Brad, is when I talked to Mac Brown Thursday and Manny Diaz, I think they kind of felt defensively, at least, that hey, they at least play a team they matched up better against.
Yep.
You know, after West Virginia and Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma's offense putting up bigger numbers on them than either one of those 2 teams in a half. Meanwhile, the Sooner defense has just been on lockdown. They gave up 1 play, the long pass against tight coverage.
There's Bergeron on a 2nd and 3. Doesn't get it, but he did get a couple. Corey Nelson, the outside linebacker, made the stop.
The guys who are playing really well in this first half, I mean, the entire back end, I mean, they're aggressive, they're fast, they play a lot of man coverage. But inside, Casey Walker, Jamarcus McFarland, those guys are really holding their own inside.
Jonathan Gray, Wildcat here. He doesn't get it.
It's the inside tackle. That time David King moved inside, beat his man, and stopped Gray short of the first down. I mean, the defensive tackles for Oklahoma have controlled the game when Texas has tried to run.
There was some thought, I think, in Matt Brown's mind about going for it on 4th and 1. His team wanted to go. Oklahoma was saying, bring it on if you want to. And then they decided they'll kick. Texas held without a first down on 6 of their 7 possessions. And immediately after that 1 first down, they threw an interception. Justin Brown, line drive kick. He takes it at the 23, dropped at the 25. Good coverage down there.
I think one of the most valuable players for Oklahoma in the first half has been Trey Millard. He's lined up as a fullback. He's a lead blocker. He also is dangerous coming out of the backfield as a runner or a receiver. This was on Damian Williams' long touchdown. On Blake Bell's touchdown, he's always the lead blocker. Watch the cut block here on the outside backer. And then running or catching, he's been a valuable asset to this Oklahoma offense.
Second time he's hurdled somebody today, too, on that 73-yarder that got him down to the 2-yard line. A minute and a half remaining in the half. Sooners from the 25. High snap handled by Jones, and another tough run by, this time, Brennan Clay, just running over Longhorns, and he picked up a dozen.
I mean, tough run, yes, but Kendall Thompson met him in the hole. The linebacker who gets up a little shaken up on the play, just not able to wrap him up.
And we got a Longhorn down. Kendall Thompson. Steve Edmond was shaken up earlier in the game, came back out and has been playing. He just went out a second ago as well. In that depleted linebacking core that Todd was talking about, there's Edmond, who just headed to the sideline.
You know, see, the problem for Texas is because they've had problems at linebacker, they've chosen to kind of go to a smaller, faster nickel or dime type defense. The only problem is that's smaller guys trying to tackle running backs, and they've had their problems getting the backs, and particularly Damon Williams, on the ground.
And they've been getting run over in this first half. Speaking of the first half, Cooper Tire's halftime report with John and Jesse. We'll have all the day's highlights so far from other games that started as early as we did. Kind of hard to start much earlier than 11 o'clock local time here in Dallas. It was still dark when we were on our way over the stadium. First down with 1:06 remaining. Jones from the 37 fires out in the flat. Wide open is Sterling Shepard, a freshman that the Sooners think a lot of. And he picks up almost 9.
Might be a chance for Landry Jones in this last drive to maybe get a ball in the hands of his newest receiver, Jalen Saunders, number 14.
That one's too far in front of Shepard. Incomplete. Stops the clock with 41 seconds remaining.
Saunders is a guy who transferred from Fresno State and actually was a very productive receiver out there in that conference. 50 catches, over 1,000 yards, averaged over 21 yards per catch.
Just became eligible Wednesday.
He will be a factor for them as this season goes on.
You see Kendall Thompson heading to the locker room ahead of time. Damian Williams, the tailback. And a whistle before the snap.
They got it off. Second time.
Ball start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Darrell Williams, the right tackle.
I think this Oklahoma offensive line's tired. They're ready for halftime. They've run 32 more plays than Texas. It's amazing.
The 52nd play coming up right now. They should be tired.
They're ready for a Gatorade.
No kidding. They're down at 6 now. Probably change the plan here for Oklahoma and Landry Jones. Wanted to throw short across the middle, and now just gets rid of it. And
I think there was a receiver in the area. As long as the ball crossed the line of scrimmage, Justin Brown was in the area. Now they're going to throw the flag, but I thought Justin Brown was close enough to the play.
Well, if it's intentional grounding, they have to kick it anyway.
I mean, Landry Jones made the right decision. He was going to get sacked. You want to avoid the sack, avoid the negative play. Don't force a bad throw.
Just going to be a matter of where the punter stands, regardless of the penalty.
Yeah.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Number 12. Lost it down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
Of course, you lost the down anyway because it was incomplete. So they just punt it from around the 20 instead of the 30. So Tressway to kick. Quandre Diggs, who has the only offense of the day, playing defense, if you will, the punt returner, with the 2-point return on the botched extra point. He's just going to have to let this one go, and goes out of bounds on the far side, and he'll spot it up around the 40, I think. Oops, coming back all the way to the 44. Well, the scene is always beautiful here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas and the State Fair of Texas, and some of those shots, all of those shots, are aerial coverage provided by the MetLife blimp. See how MetLife can provide the coverage that you need. MetLife, I can do this.
I think Texas needs to try to score points here. I mean, there's only 29 seconds, but they've got 2 timeouts. They've got great field position. I think they got to be as aggressive as they've been at any point in this first half. Oklahoma called timeout.
Oklahoma takes their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
And Bob Stoops still coaching them up with a 36-2 lead.
How about that? You got both Stoops. I mean, that's Stoops in stereo. Corey Nelson getting an earful from both.
Oh, there they are, the 2 brothers. Mike back after his head coaching stints, Arizona.
You know, it's interesting too. I mean, it's a different world in college football, or different league, I should say. I mean, he was not out of college football as the head coach at Arizona, but when he was at Oklahoma from '99 to 2003, they weren't playing this kind of offense in the Big 12. They weren't all running tempo and tons of plays, and so it's a different game that he's come back to. But I'll tell you what, the Oklahoma defense this year playing at a much higher level than they did a year ago.
Ash shot first down. Fires deep. Nobody in the vicinity. I mean, nobody in the area code.
See, Oklahoma wants an intentional grounding because they say, hey, nobody was in the area of that throw. Why don't we get a flag? I think that was just a mix-up. I think David Ash anticipated Goodwin being in the area, but a miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. Now we are going to get the flag.
Wow.
Offense, number 14. This also includes a 10-second runoff. Lost it down at the spot of the foul.
You and I are shaking our heads up here.
Unbelievable.
You can't have a worse half than this.
You can't.
Mack trying to plead his case, but now that probably takes away, like you said, go ahead and attack. Well, they haven't taken 10 seconds off because there was 29 seconds, so it should be 19 seconds. Now they've got the scoreboard in here changed down to 12. But I think it's going back.
Texas is elected to take a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff.
Okay.
Please set the clock at 22 seconds.
Well, you get a few ticks back.
Yeah. Again, Mack is looking for anything positive, anything to build on to try to get his team to come out and play the second half like it's 0-0. Not necessarily for this game so much as the rest of the season.
Yep. So it's 3rd down at 15. Deep ball again, and the closest guy was Marquise Goodwin.
And R.J. Washington just leveled David Ash. I mean, this again, you know, we've said it, has been about as dominating of a performance as we've ever seen in the first half of football. I mean, it's a four-man rush. It's not a blitz. They're playing coverage. Oklahoma knows it's pass, but a little inside stunt by the end, Washington, and those hurt, especially when you're losing 36-2.
Absolutely. That last play, by the way, was 2nd and 15. So now we do have the 3rd and 15. Ash across the middle, completes it. Bryant Jackson bounced off, got a first down around the 42-yard line with 8 seconds to go.
Clock will stop until they reset the chains. Again, Texas has a timeout, or they can spike the ball.
Better hurry.
I think the sideline called timeout. David Ash was going to spike it. The sideline said, we won't have enough time to do that. We got to call timeout. Now all they got a shot to do is throw it to the end zone.
Please set the clock at 7 seconds.
So barring a defensive penalty, we're down to 1 play here. This is the deepest penetration by Texas into Oklahoma territory, and it's the first play run, by the way, in Oklahoma territory that's coming up. There's your quarterback comparison, and there is none.
No.
And that doesn't count the other quarterback for Oklahoma,
right,
who has 4 scoring runs on the ground.
Well, Landry Jones, now in 2.5 games in a row against Texas, has really had mastery over this Longhorn defense.
And there's Bell. 10 for 30 and 4 scores. He'd be a fantasy football favorite right now, wouldn't he? So last play of the half coming up.
His dad Mark and his twin brother Mike played in Kansas City when I was a member of the Chiefs. Big boy.
Ash in trouble. Flushed out of the pocket. Now throws as far as he can on the run, and it is intercepted by Tony Jefferson. Tony Jefferson with the 2nd interception of the day by the Oklahoma secondary. Halftime. You hear the fireworks going off. They're all for the Sooners right now. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Coach Stoops, you told me before the game that whoever controlled the line of scrimmage would win this game. How do you describe what your guys are doing up front defensively?
They're playing great. Physical, tackling well, perfect on our adjustments. It's been pretty good.
You went to Blake Bell, your belldozer, earlier in the field on that first drive. What do you like about how he's been running the ball?
Well, we want to get him, you know, there's some opportunity there even on first down on occasion, so hopefully we can take advantage of it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Bob doesn't use the word perfect very often. Almost a perfect first half other than a missed extra point. 36-2 Oklahoma as we send it to John and Jesse for the Cooper halftime report.
You're watching ESPN on ABC.
Crimson and cream, burnt orange and white. OU, Texas, Red River rivalry is on. Bell, a stiff arm, inside the 5, inside the end zone, touchdown. It'll be Williams. He found his first opening. He's into the secondary. Damian Williams across the 30. Williams, touchdown. 95-yard.
Texas from a 1-yard line. Can they get it out of there? No, they can't. Safety, Oklahoma. Bell scored 4 touchdowns last year against Baylor. He scored 4 touchdowns in the first half against Texas.
This is ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Just about set to start the 3rd quarter from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. The 107th renewal of this rivalry. All Oklahoma in the first half. 36-2. As we welcome you back, everybody. Brad Nessler with Todd Blackledge. My dad told me at one time, son, there's going to be days like this. I hope Mac Brown's dad did the same thing.
Boy.
You know, we knew they were having trouble defensively the last 3 weeks, but nothing like this.
Yeah, you know, how dominating has it been? Coming into the game, Texas was giving up 404 yards a game offense. That's the worst in school history. Oklahoma had 407 in the first half. So, again, Mac Brown had to tell his team, let's just try to play this second half like it's a new ball game.
They'll start from the 25-yard line. as we check in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
Well, I caught up with Texas coach Mac Brown at the half, and guys, he was pretty honest. He said, Holly, we stunk. We didn't do a good job coaching. We didn't do a good job playing. They're whipping us in every phase right now. But he said, I'll tell you this, we'll find out who we are by how we respond here in the second half. But I can tell you guys, coming down the tunnel, when the OU guys came out of the tunnel, they were singing and chanting. Texas was quiet, just walking down the ramp.
Boy, we'll see what they're made out of right now. 3 wide receivers to the near side. And Johnson in the backfield with David Ash, who couldn't have had a worse first half, I don't think. A couple of interceptions, knocked around, bruised, and nothing went right for the guy that's #2 in the country in completion percentage. Here is Johnson. And he got about 4 before he's knocked out of bounds by Tony Jefferson. David Ash coming in had looked great. 78% of his passes, 77.5, second only to Geno Smith. And look at today.
Well, again, you got to look a little bit against who he was going against. You know, as good as West Virginia and Oklahoma State and even Ole Miss at times have been on offense, none of them have played defense anywhere near the level that Oklahoma plays.
Johnson again coming the other way. And he's got the first down. Took a big hit by Demontre Hurst at the end of that play.
Well, it took them 9 minutes and 30 seconds left into the second quarter before they got their first down of the game. So there's one encouraging change for the Texas offense.
Only took them about 25 seconds for that one.
Again, you're not just playing for the last 30 minutes of this game. And certainly you want to try to fight your way back into this one. But you're playing for more than that if you're Texas. You're playing for the rest of your schedule.
Empty backfield. And now that changes. As Roberson and Bergeron there with Ash. And will be Bergeron behind Roberson. Now he cuts it outside. He's buried for a loss of a yard. Corey Nelson is there.
That's not Roberson's run. He's an inside physical guy. He's a big back. He's good around the goal line. You know, he's 230 pounds. He doesn't have the quickness to bounce that thing outside against a defense like this.
And now we'll have 5 receivers and an empty set for David Ash. Barring a quarterback draw, this is a throw on second down and 11. He may not get the throw away. Running for his life, throwing on the run, incomplete, out of bounds. Nelson and King were giving chase again.
You know, when I watched this Oklahoma defense on tape, I was surprised. They weren't able to get any kind of pass rush with their front 4 against Kansas State. They got a little bit more against Seth Dagey at Texas Tech last week in Lubbock, but today they've created all kind of pressure on David Ash.
Third down at 11. Jeremy Hills in the backfield with Ash. 4th time the Longhorns have had third down and 10 or longer. Want to throw a screen pass. Incomplete anyway. Probably just as well.
Oklahoma was all over that. Whenever Jeremy Hills has been in the lineup on third down, he's valuable in pass protection and their screen game. And Oklahoma was locked in on it.
So punting situation, got a first down, and that's all they got. King set to kick. Justin Brown awaits on the other end. Brown, fair catch, called for and taken. Back at the 15-yard line. 13:03 remaining third quarter. Oklahoma with a big lead, has its hands on the ball for the first time when we come back. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. We'll take you back to our impact players we started the game with, and they have had an impact. Williams, a 95-yard touchdown run, one of 145. Justin Brown's done a good job as a punt returner and a receiver, and Tony Jefferson an interception to go with a couple tackles for loss. And now it's Oklahoma from the 15-yard line. Fly sweep, Roy Finch out maybe to the 19.
You know, you talk about the impact players. A couple guys that won't ever get named as impact players, but they've had an impact. The two starting tackles for Oklahoma have done a good job blocking the defensive ends, Okafor and Jeffcoat. You got Darrell Williams, number 79, Lane Johnson, 69. They've done a nice job.
Landry Jones throwing on the run. Long ball incomplete. It was close. Justin Brown, the intended receiver, but Diggs and Phillips were back there with him.
Not a lot of throws completed down the field. Big chunk plays for Landry Jones so far this season. He's only completed, coming into the game, 26% of his throws 20 yards or further down the field. But he's been very accurate on medium to short range throwing.
3rd down and 5. Kenny Stills has been a little bit quiet today as a wide receiver. Jones throws intercepted on the run by Bynum, and he's gone. Touchdown, Texas. Carrington Bynum. First missed throw by Landry Jones today, and it is a pick 6.
Yeah, this is just a mistake by Landry Jones because the protection was fine. Bynum just read the quarterback the whole way and sat right on the route.
Gives a little bit of life to Texas.
Their defense, or their offense, made a first down in their first possession, and now their defense gets on the scoreboard.
Second interception of the year for Bynum, and he took it 28 yards for the score. The extra point hits the left upright and is no good. Is pretty much how the day is gone for Texas. Just when they get something to go right, something else goes haywire. But Carrington Bynum on a pass intended, in fact, for Kenny Stills. Takes it the other way for the touchdown.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation that excites. Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And John Hancock. Talk with your financial advisor.
Everything but corny dogs. Where are the corny dogs?
They were up here.
They were up here. We had some at halftime in honor of Bob Goodrich, who one time the ABC ESPN set the record, our former producer, with 13 corny dogs in a single day.
Not right.
That isn't right. That's not the only thing he ate that day either. From the 2-yard line, running Clay. Clay across the 20, broke a tackle, got across the 30.
Well, Landry Jones just threw his 3rd interception of the season, and Bynum, the cornerback, is reading the quarterback the whole way. But you know what? Kenny Stills didn't help his quarterback very much at all. As he runs the curl route, you want your receiver to come back to the football. He stayed in a stationary position. Bynum slipped underneath. He may have still got the interception, but Kenny Stills could have made a little bit more of an effort coming back to the football.
3rd interception of the year by Landry Jones. And now the Sooners with a full house pistol backfield there. 2 fullbacks and Williams behind Landry Jones. Millard on the move, so they run that way behind those 2 fullbacks, and it doesn't net them much, about a yard. Steve Edmond in on the stop, along with Kendall Thompson. Adrian Phillips checks back in the Texas secondary on 2nd down and 9. Now they got Millard, the fullback, out in a slot on the left side. They've used him a lot as a running back and a receiver today. Blitz coming on Jones. Quick throw. Too much smoke on it for Justin Brown. Incomplete, and it's 3rd and long.
Good coverage by Quandre Diggs. He was right there on Brown. And a 3rd and long. And Texas trying to get a little bit of life here.
I'm going to guess that about 20% of the Longhorn fans have already left the Cotton Bowl. But the ones that have stayed, hoping for a miracle. Open for a stop right now. First things first. 3rd down and 9. Jones, quick throw. Williams got the first down.
Anytime as a defensive lineman you have a straight shot, free shot to the quarterback, you better know something's coming behind you, like a screen pass, and it's exactly what Oklahoma called on that 3rd down.
Our buddy Toby Keith, big Sooner fan. He and his beautiful wife Tricia, kind enough to have us out to the ranch the last time we were in Norman. What's that new song he's got right now that's in the top 15? I like women that drink beer.
I don't know if ranch is accurate enough to describe his place either.
Maybe not. Flag down. Mike DeFee, our referee.
Offside. Defense on the nose guard, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That should be the one guy that knows where the line of scrimmage is.
About 3 inches away from the football.
Right. So 1st and 5 now for the Sooners. 4 minutes into the 3rd quarter, in command here, 36-8. Dominic Whaley is in the backfield for the first time for Oklahoma. He's going to get the carry. Whaley cuts it outside, got a first down. Doesn't play as much now that Williams has taken over as a starter, but he's got fresh legs and a 10-yard gain on that one.
Gabe Eichard, the center, is a very athletic guy. They use him in pool a lot. He gets out in front of the plays. Watch the center get out in front of this play to the 2nd level on the linebacker, because he was a starting guard before he moved into center last year when Hayburn got hurt. So he's used to pulling out to the 2nd level and getting on the blocks.
First down at the 41. Three wideouts for Landry Jones. He's going to throw on first down. Flares it out of the backfield, intended for Whaley. Over his head, incomplete.
Pass falling incomplete, intended for Whaley.
Landry Jones, if he wins this game, he'll be one of the very few guys that's been able to win 3 starts against Texas. And he actually played in all 4 games, but the other one was relief duty for Sam Bradford when Sam got hurt. There's the other guys. Landry Jones trying to join Jimmy Harris, Jamel Holloway, and Steve Davis. And if he wins this game, he passes Steve Davis as the all-time winningest quarterback in Oklahoma history. Williams pops it into the next level and out of bounds. Another double-digit pickup, 14 more yards for Williams. And when we said earlier he might be on his way to a 200-yard day, he is well in that direction.
Again, the linebackers can't get off of blocks. In this case, it's Santos, the freshman, couldn't get off of the block of the center, and another 10-yard plus run. And again, coming into the game, Texas had given up more 10-yard plus runs than anybody in the conference, and they haven't helped themselves on that category today.
And Oklahoma's got 7 times the first downs that Texas has right now. They've got another one here, the 26-yard line. Williams, they still don't have him down. He gets 3 more yards. That's 19 carries for 163 yards, a career high. Second down and 8. 8th play of this drive. It's already gone 44 yards. The straight ahead running. Wow. Just bulldozed over Dalton Santos, the middle linebacker, for about 3 extra yards.
He's a complete package as a back. I mean, we saw the speed. We saw him have the ability to make some people miss in the open field on his long touchdown run. But that right there, the ability to run downhill, to finish runs in a physical fashion, is what I think has changed
the dynamics of this Oklahoma offense this season.
Back to the 20-yard line. Red zone has been a touchdown zone today for the Sooners. 3rd down at 4. Bell. He's not going to get this one. Got a couple. Well, you got to give your field goal unit an opportunity sometime. A 36-yard field goal attempt by Mike Honeycutt. That'll make it 39-8, and he does. 7:42 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Sooners strike again. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. There's the proper Steve Davis. We misidentified Steve earlier. Led Oklahoma a couple of national championships, won 32 games. And Landry Jones, we said, if this one holds up, as it certainly looks like it will, it would be Landry Jones atop the all-time win list for the Sooners. Honeycutt's kick bounces off Marquise Goodwin, and he has to take a knee, and they'll bring it out to the 25. And we go to Holly.
Well, Steve Davis, Landry Jones, if this holds up, can break your record. It's been a while. How do you feel about that today?
Oh, I think records are made to be broken, certainly, and this is one that you want to see broken. I really am proud of Landry and what he's accomplished under a little bit of pressure and fire.
Well, you were very kind. After he lost that Kansas State game with some turnovers, you wrote him a letter. What did you say, and why was that important to you?
Well, I've been where he's been. I've been in his shoes. I know what it feels like, and I've been under that kind of pressure. I've been booed, and I just wanted to lift him up and give him the encouragement and encourage him to be the player that he really is.
What was some important advice that you told him going forward?
Well, I told him to play within himself, be who he is. The other thing is, I said, go out and play like you're playing for the Artesia Bulldogs against the Carlsbad Cavemen. Go have fun.
Well, that's great advice, and it looks like you're having fun today. Even though the record's going down, what a gracious man. Thank you.
It's all right. Thank you.
Great player, good guy. Done as well off the field as he did as a quarterback on the field after football. Incomplete on a pass to Davis.
Really good advice to Landry Jones, too. You know, and I think, you know, why it's so cool that Steve reached out like that is because I think Landry Jones unfairly gets criticized some because of his personality. He's not a real rah-rah kind of guy. Very devout Christian, very keeps to himself. He's a married player. Sometimes people mistake that for a lack of intensity or a lack of competitiveness.
You were talking about that. We were talking with Bob Stoops about that the other day, and he said, really, though, it hasn't been the personality of a lot of our quarterbacks. Yep. Jason White, Josh Heupel, Sam Bradford wasn't a big rah-rah guy. But Landry Jones is going to have the record all to his own about 22 minutes from now. Another drop pass. Johnson this time on a crossing route, and Texas will have to kick.
It's the 5th drop for Texas. I mean, you know, it's what can go wrong will go wrong today for the Longhorns, because that probably would have been a first down had he been able to hold on to the ball.
Alex King to kick.
Alex King's been the best player on the Longhorn roster, I think, today.
Get that right. Justin Brown is going to have a shot at this one from the 26. First man missed, second one didn't. With 6:58 remaining 3rd quarter, let's check in with Robert Flores. Robert.
Hey, Brad, SportsCenter right now brought to you by HP. West Virginia's Geno Smith gets a lot of Heisman publicity so far this season, and rightly so. But what about Colin Klein? Quarterback for K-State, 3 rushing touchdowns against Iowa State, and Wildcats leading 24-14 in the 4th on the road. Brad.
All right, Robert, thanks. That Kansas State team, as you said, not flashy, Todd, but they get the job done.
Well, and Colin Klein is a winner. I mean, when he played against Oklahoma in Norman, he had 228 total yards of offense. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy. They were 7 of 14 on third down. A lot of those plays that he made as a runner, just playing hard-nosed football. Not flashy, and he's not real pretty all the time, but he's effective.
Loss on the play. Damian Williams. Malcolm Brown was the first to meet him. Texas defense has spent the majority of the game out there on the field today because the offense has been unable to get anything going. Second down at 10. Jones relays his information to his offensive line. Millard now actually lined up as the tailback, and Williams will go in motion. He's going to throw it to Millard out of the backfield. First man missed. Nice move for a guy 256 pounds. He lost the ball, but it went out of bounds. We've seen some pretty smooth moves from Trey Millard, one of the captains out of Columbia, Missouri. It's Adams shed the left guard that's down.
Again, we put the graphic up earlier in the ball game that showed the 3 offensive linemen that they've lost this year already. They'll afford to lose another one. They're basically playing with a 7-man offensive line rotation at this point.
At a timeout here with the injured player with 6:09 remaining third quarter. At 39-8, Bevo's decided I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah. My grandma used to say when the cows were sitting laying down, it meant it was going to rain.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. Third down at 9. Jones throwing on the run. Got a man out there. Did Brown get it? Nope. Bobbled it. Tried to tip it to himself and just couldn't quite find the handle.
You had one like this last week in the game at Texas Tech. Beautifully thrown ball by Landry Jones. He tried to reel it in. He couldn't. He caught a touchdown on the opening drive last week. Had another one in his hands that he dropped as he was going to the ground. Kind of a similar situation here. At the very end, the defensive back got his hand in there.
Tried to catch that about 4 times.
Yeah. You only get credit for one.
Yeah. Tress Wade set the punt. High kick. Quandre Diggs has to go all the way to the far side of the field and still can't get to it, but it drops dead at the 32-yard line. Don't forget, get your NFL Sunday started off right. Tomorrow morning, NFL Countdown at 10 o'clock. Chris and the gang have all the latest news from the stadiums around the league right up until kickoff. Then at 11 on ESPN2, Robert Flores is with us today. Matthew Berry and Tim Hasselback give you the information you need to get your lineup set and give you an edge in your leagues with Fantasy Football Now. ESPN and ESPN2 tomorrow morning. David Ash, the sophomore out of Belton, Texas, and he has had a tough day. All 3 wide receivers to the near side, and now Mike Davis goes in motion. On first down from the 31. Swing pass. Oh, what a collision out there on Jonathan Gray, courtesy of Corey Nelson.
Well, the reason that you pull a lineman out, in this case Josh Cochran at right tackle, is to get a piece of somebody. Oh. Corey Nelson ran right by Cochran and right into the face of the running back.
Corey Nelson definitely got a piece of that. Jonathan Gray. Bergeron comes in. Gray goes out. Marquise Goodwin to the top of the screen. He's been a quiet receiver, but I guess they all have today for Texas. Goodwin doesn't have a catch. He's trying to go to him. He's not going to get a chance, I don't think. Well, he got the safety valve to his tight end. Somehow sidearmed that thing to Greg Daniels. And it's first down, Texas.
Well, we saw him elude a sack in the first half, but not able to connect with the throw. Another time he gets away from a sure sack. You see the strength of David Ash in his upper body and makes the throw for a completion. Has Jackson Shipley even caught a pass today?
I think he caught one crossing route. It's actually 3rd down and 3, not 1st and 10. He didn't get to the marker. My mistake. And now they got the 1st down. Jonathan Gray took one off the top of his shoes. And Texas hurrying up as well they should, with just over 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter and trailing by 31. From the 44, play action. And now Ash is going to run with it all the way. Gets 10, 15, balls out. Fumble, Oklahoma football. Another Texas turnover, 2 interceptions by Ash, and now a fumble. The flag down at the end of the play. And a couple of guys on the bottom of the pile still mixing it up. DeMontre Hurst, I think, is the guy that recovered the fumble, but he's still getting some play from Roberson.
You know, the problem for quarterbacks that aren't necessarily running quarterbacks in a running offense, you know, they're not used to getting hit.
After recovery of the fumble by Oklahoma, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Oklahoma number 14, 15-yard penalty. 1st down for Oklahoma.
So they keep the football, but they'll back it up a little bit. Aaron Colvin is the guy with the personal foul.
Excellent decision by Ash to run. He's got the 1st down, and at this point, protect the football. Maybe get down, but you got to take care of the football. Tom Ward comes from the backside. He didn't see him. He popped the ball out. You know, it's interesting. After Texas converted, Mike Stoops went to some subs, and one of the guys that came in for that play was Tom Ward. He had been on the sideline. There was the backups in. They put their starters back in, and the first play Ward was back in the game. He causes the turnover.
Again, Colvin gets his leg caught in the pile, and he's trying to get out of there. And I don't know if he maybe kicked somebody to try to get his leg free or whatever, but that's the personal foul that backs it up to the 21-yard line. Play fake. Miller, the intended receiver, on just a little bootleg shot put pass. It's incomplete.
Well, we talked coming in. The 2 determining factors in this series over the last several years: who runs the ball better, who takes care of the ball better. That's who wins the game, and certainly it's playing out in this one.
That'll just extend that whole theory to next year, the way it's going right now. Three wideouts to the top for Jones on a 2nd down and 10.
They might have to add who tackles better to that also.
And timeout taken by Oklahoma. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, it's a unique relationship. Landry Jones, the starting quarterback for Oklahoma, but he is married to one of the best female athletes for Oklahoma. Whitney Hand is a standout on the basketball court. She was leading them to the Final Four as a freshman, as one of their best shooters. I talked to her before the game. She said they start basketball season on Monday, so she had time to come and watch her husband play. People said it's a really cool relationship because she had to go through a rehab of a knee surgery. He was there supporting her all the way. And what better way to understand competing at a very high level than to be married to a similar athlete and support each other all the way.
Somewhere down the line, the kids will be athletes, I bet.
It's kind of interesting because a good friend of mine I played with in Kansas City, Gary Spaney, his daughter, he has 5 daughters. His oldest, Shaylin, played basketball at Kansas State. She just got married to Colin Klein this past summer, and she is also a member, I think, of the coaching staff there at Kansas State. So it must be something to it. Quarterbacks and female basketball players.
There you go. The Sooners women's team picked number 2 behind Baylor in the preseason polls of the Big 12. 2nd down and 10, again a 4 wideout grouping for Landry Jones, who fires complete. What a catch by Saunders, and there is the guy that Todd was talking about, the transfer from Fresno State, who can make a big impact, and they want to try to get him the ball. 32 yards on that one.
Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to get him involved, you know, to get him involved in the offense, make some catches in game situation. Beautiful job of catching it over his shoulder with his hands. And again, Landry Jones very accurate down the field. Should have had the completion to Justin Brown on the last possession. That one beautifully thrown.
So back in Texas territory at the 47-yard line with a first down. Williams, little sidestep, little two-step, and only got about a yard out of it. Saunders, an interesting story. Holly's got more on that.
Well, that's right. This Wednesday at practice, he was practicing on the scout team for Oklahoma when they got word that the NCAA had cleared him, so he immediately moved to the first team. The reason he's able to play and not sit out this year is because his father has some health issues up in the Fresno State area, and they felt because he's genetically predisposed to possibly have those similar health concerns, he has transferred out, and he is thrilled that he's getting to wear the uniform. I asked him before the game, are you nervous? He said, nope, just excited.
Excited for sure, and it will be when this one's over. Landry Jones trying to come back to his check down receiver. Got it to Sterling Shepard, and got another Texas player down. Short break here with the injury. Let's check in with Robert Flores. Robert.
Hey, Brad, Iowa State is still hanging around against number 6 Kansas State. Jeff Woody, the short touchdown run. And despite 3 TD runs by Colin Klein, Cyclones down just 3 at home, 9:50 and running in the 4th.
Iowa State's a pretty good football team.
Yep.
Mac Brown, the look on his face tells pretty much the story of the day. Brandon Moore is the player that's down for Texas, junior tackle out of Montgomery, Alabama. The only thing worse than being down 31 points in the third quarter is having players injured on top of everything else. As Snoopy flies in, our aerial coverage is being provided by MetLife. The MetLife blimp. You can see how MetLife can provide the coverage that you need. MetLife, I can do this. 107th renewal of this longtime rivalry. Former Longhorn Roger Clemens on the sideline. A lot of guys love coming to this game because just the atmosphere, and you could feel it at 8 o'clock this morning when we got here.
Well, you could feel it in our hotel last night for most of the entire evening also.
It's because most of the rooms were shaking.
Yeah. You know, I had the opportunity in my career, as I'm sure you do. You've done this game more than I have. I've done the Florida-Georgia game more than I've done this one. Very similar. You know, it has that festive feel. It's more like a bowl game because the stadium is split in two, ticket-wise and color-wise, and it's also, and I guess Army-Navy is similar, and I've done that game as well, where the energy, it never is all the way down. You know, where you have a home crowd, if the home team's losing,
there's noise all the time.
Right? There's always noise in this game. Somebody's always happy.
And as Mac Brown told us, it's going to be a feel game. Somebody's going to feel good, somebody's going to feel bad, and it's going to be Texas feeling bad today, and we feel really bad that we have to see the cart come out for Brandon Moore. Mac's out there now. Mac Brown, head coach, having a look at his defensive tackle. Just not sure. We don't want to speculate at all. I'm not sure what the injury was. And the hush of 92,000 people. You can hear a pin drop in here right now, and all the Texas fans holding up the hook 'em horn sign until they get Brandon Moore up onto the cart. Again, he's 320-pound junior out of Montgomery, Alabama, and even though this is a bitter rivalry of the Red River, you can see that the Oklahoma players likewise showing their respect, and everybody kind of saying a prayer here. Oklahoma with a 31-point lead, a couple of minutes left in the third quarter. This would be their third straight win in this game. You want to get as many trainers and bodies out there as possible to make the stretcher or the board, as you saw, slipped under him, so then they can grab the sides and get him onto the stretcher. We're going to take a short break here. 2:27 remaining third quarter. And we're back here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas again. Brandon Moore, the injured player, and part of what's taken so long, they're trying to stabilize the head area. The helmet never comes off until they get him to a local hospital, but it does take a while to get the face mask off. You've got 4 screws basically that have to come out of your headgear to get that face mask off. They've done that, and now you can see them stabilizing the head and neck area. And here's the play on the injury where it occurred.
He's right there lined up over Adam Shedd, number 74. I think he hit Landry Jones there as he was going to the quarterback.
And then the fall, he may have hit the offensive lineman's knee with his head at the end of the play.
Well, the good thing, you know, that the medical staffs of both these teams are working together at this point and going to take every precaution. And hopefully that young man will be okay.
Yep. Let's check in with Robert Flores.
All right, Brad, AT&T All-America Player of the Week. Wisconsin running back Monte Ball. 29 carries, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, one of them making him the all-time career leader in touchdowns in the Big Ten Conference. You can text VOTE to 34763. Results revealed Thursday on ESPN. Brett.
Thanks, Robert. So Wisconsin finally got the ball rolling a little bit with Monte. And again, this is Brandon Moore as they get him on the cart. And they've stabilized him, and we're going to hope that it looks worse than it is. We certainly have no idea. They're not going to speculate on the injury, but they'll get him out of the Cotton Bowl and through the crowd and to whatever medical facility they see fit. And we'll all cross our fingers and say a prayer. As if the Texas fans haven't had a tough enough day. And you'll hear a big round of applause as soon as that cart starts moving from both the fans in crimson and cream and the ones in burnt orange and white. So there you hear it. You can be bitter rivals, but you're all in it together when somebody gets hurt. Holly?
Well, guys, this is some positive news. One of the Texas coaches who was out there near where he was laying came over the sideline and told the Texas teammates that he is able to use his arms, that he does have movement in his upper body right now. They do have him his arms are strapped down just as a precaution, so that is at least some good news, and we'll give you more as soon as we learn it.
Okay, Holly, thanks. Yeah, Todd and I noticed that with the face mask off, he actually was moving his hand with his mouthpiece as if to say, where am I going to stuff it now that I don't have a face mask on my helmet? Meanwhile, it's Oklahoma with the 3rd and 10 at the Texas 27-yard line. Jones throws, completes. Saunders again, broke a tackle, stops, goes, and takes about 4 Longhorns to bring him down at the 24-yard line.
Well, Landry Jones reads the coverage correctly here. Kenny Stills was lined up on the left. There's double coverage over here, so he knows in the slot he's going to get single coverage. He throws the out to Saunders, and again gets his new receiver involved in the offense. Find the one-on-one and go there with the football.
And like you were talking about, Ledge, he was good for big yardage last year, over 21 a catch. His 2 catches today, 32 and 22. So they've been looking for a home run guy since Ryan Broyles left, and maybe they found one, or they have one for the future. Play action. Jones down the middle. Millard at the 5. Millard in. Touchdown, Oklahoma. What a big part of the offense number 33 has been today. A 25-yard scoring pass from Landry Jones to Trey Millard. And for Landry Jones, touchdown throw number 101 in his Sooner career. Honeycutt for the point after. 46-8.
Well, the defense of Texas has had a hard time accounting for Millard the whole game. Watch the linebackers all get up here on the play fake, and Millard's going to run right by the linebackers into open territory. They come up for the fake. He gets right behind him. Then he makes the safety miss. And another touchdown for the Sooners. This guy's had a big-time game for the Oklahoma offense.
Landry Jones on his way to being one of only 3 quarterbacks to win 3 times against Texas. And Whitney Hand, his lovely wife, says, that a boy. Touchdown. This Trey Millard, I tell you what, I would use him more and more if I was the Sooners.
Well, he's got so much versatility. I mean, we've seen him do a little bit of everything today. Block out of the backfield, block on the line of scrimmage, run the football, catch the football.
To the tune of 5 for 119. 73-yarder earlier on a swing pass where he had I'm sure a Sports Center moment with a hurdle and a stiff arm all at the same time to get him down close for one of Blake Bell's 4 rushing touchdowns. So 46-8. Goodwin having trouble handling those kickoffs. He does bring this one out. Marquise Goodwin, world-class speed. But they get him out of bounds at the 34-yard line. BCS countdowns on ESPN and ESPNU this Sunday. Analysts are going to break down the key wins and losses that took place and discuss the impact on the standings. Plus, we look ahead at the key matchups for next week. BCS countdown 8:30, then at 9, presented by Discover Card tomorrow on ESPN and ESPNU. Let's go to the top of the ledge.
Well, I'm the same on the top 2 as most of the polls. I differ from that point on. I think Florida is the best team in the SEC East. I think I have them above South Carolina. And Notre Dame, I'm impressed with them. They have not trailed, I don't think, in a game yet this season. Their defense has been dominant.
They haven't given up a touchdown in like the last 3 games or something like that. They play Stanford today.
Part of the reason that I rank those teams ahead of, let's say, a West Virginia, I mean, call me old school, whatever. I just don't think you win championships by giving up 60 points in a game, or giving up 63, or not being able to stop people. I still think you got to play great defense. You can have an explosive offense, but you better be able to stop some people too.
Today, Texas hasn't been able to stop Oklahoma. Offensively now at the 34-yard line. Ash with a play fake. Streaking down the sideline. Did he catch that? Caleb Jones. Aaron Colvin was covering.
This Oklahoma defense, I think, is going to continue to get better because their secondary is starting to get it. I mean, they're starting to play more in sync. They play a lot of man coverage. You know, they're getting more and more confident in being able to lock up and bump and run receivers. And they're starting to generate more pass rush up front. I just think this is a unit that is going to continue to grow and improve as the year goes on.
And when you've given up only 115 yards of offense to a team that came in averaging 47 points a game, it's got to give you a big boost. Ash will come to the other sideline. Shipley, and he couldn't get to it.
The reason I like bump and run defense in college football is there are only a handful of quarterbacks that you might see that are good enough to make the throws against tight coverage. If you play a lot of zone and you leave a lot of windows open to throw the ball, there's a lot of quarterbacks that can make those throws. But I just think, by and large, there aren't that many college quarterbacks that are going to beat you if you can play tight man-to-man coverage.
Alex King with a punt. And Justin Brown from the 17.
Brown weaving his way through traffic. Justin Brown cuts back across midfield all the way to the 41-yard line. We told you he could make an impact as a receiver and as a return man, and finally he got a little bit of a avenue, and he returned a 49-yard punt 43 yards the other way.
This guy has been a valuable asset to this team as well. And I talked to Bob Stoops on the field. He said, you know what, we really love the guy. He's one of the guys that transferred out of Penn State, ended up in Norman, Oklahoma. He's been excellent for their team, a good leader, good guy in the clubhouse and on the field. And I saw him before the game. I went up and gave him a hug. He says, you don't hate me, do you? I said, no, bro, I'm happy for you. I really am. You know, I don't begrudge any of those guys that decided to leave Penn State when they did. I'm proud of the guys that stayed and how they're playing, but you know, I'm happy to see all of them do well.
Yep, and we've got one from each team that transferred and playing in this game. It'd be the final snap of the third quarter. And it's a big opening again. This time, Whaley knocked out of bounds, but not before he got to the 21-yard line. 18 yards on the carry for Dom Whaley.
The integrity of the Texas run defense is just really, they got a lot of issues. I mean, again, part of it is Jordan Hicks being out, their top linebacker, but they've given up way too many runs. Oklahoma 258 yards rushing, and we haven't even started the fourth quarter yet.
The third quarter's history. Game's probably history as well. All Oklahoma right now. This presentation of ABC's College Football, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We're set to start the fourth quarter. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Bell with 4 rushing touchdowns in the first half. Damian Williams has got 167 on the ground and another score. And that total yardage, Texas 115, OU 554. That's an all-time mark for Oklahoma playing in this rivalry against Texas. So they've already got an all-time high, and they're going for more. Jones down the middle, almost tucked it into Justin Brown. It was Diggs and Phillips there in coverage.
Nice job by Adrian Phillips, the safety, coming over to help Diggs. They went with the double move. You saw Landry Jones fake the quick bubble screen and then reset to throw the post for the touchdown. And Phillips, the safety, took a nice line to the football.
So 2nd and 10 at the 21. Keep it on the ground, and Whaley wrestled down as he got near the 15-yard line by Reggie Wilson. Now the red zone has been good to the guys in red again today. We said coming in they were almost perfect. 20 out of 21. They've added several touchdowns and a field goal today. Third and 4. Jones, one skipped off Justin Brown, incompletes, and they'll bring out the field goal unit again. You know, they put up 55 on Texas last year, and they're about to run it to 49 right here if he hits his field goal. He hit from 36 earlier. This will be a 32-yard attempt. Out of a Tress Way hold. Michael Honeycutt. Wasn't pretty, but it went through. 32-yarder. 49-8, 14 to play.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
.1402 remaining. Oklahoma 49, Texas 8. And Texas, that number 15 national ranking will evaporate tomorrow. And Oklahoma, I'm sure, will move up with the BCS standings coming out tomorrow. It's about the only thing that's gone wrong for Oklahoma today. Ball went off the tee. B.J. Monroe and Marquise Goodwin back deep, and they should get a shot at this one. It'll be Goodwin from the 10-yard line. And they cut him down as soon as he got across the 20. Well, Goodwin coming up tonight on ESPN at 8 o'clock. The old ball coach has got South Carolina with their highest national ranking ever, number 3, taking on a once beaten LSU team in Baton Rouge in Death Valley. There's the all-time series, 17-2 LSU. 21 straight home wins. South Carolina's got a 10-game winning streak riding. What do you think, Todd?
I like LSU in the game tonight. I think their defensive line is going to rise up and put a lot of pressure on Connor Shaw and Marcus Lattimore, that South Carolina offense. Zach Mettenberger will play well.
It's a problem that LSU's been having, which was the problem they had last year, was their passing game. And we thought it was going to be dramatically improved when we had them real early in the season.
Well, I still think it will get better. I think they are still better at the quarterback position. I think the biggest drop-off, a couple of things. They've had some injuries in the offensive line, and I don't think their wide receiver core as a group is nearly as good as it's been the last several years.
That left tackle spot, they've had trouble. Second down at 4 for Texas. David Ash, who I'm sure will have better days ahead in this rivalry. But his first 2 outings have not gone as planned. Play action bootleg. Got a tight end open. That's a first down throw. Complete out to DJ Grant. And we check in with Robert Flores. Robert.
All right, Brad, update from the studio. Iowa and Michigan State are going into overtime thanks to this touchdown by Mark Wiseman with less than a minute to go. Headed to overtime, Iowa and Michigan State.
Big 10 there, Big 12 here. And a big rout in the Cotton Bowl for Oklahoma right now. Rashad Favors, the backup defensive end, makes the stop. This is a nice luxury to have, too. You can get some of your second, third line guys in and get them a little experience in this game and for down the road this season.
Yep, guys that you're going to have to count on at another point in the season. You know, to me, the thing that separates great teams from good teams is depth. You know, as you get through the course of a season, you got to be able to have some depth and other guys who can step up and play.
From the 39, second down and 9. Ash in trouble, tries to run his way out of it and does a pretty good job. Put his hand on the ground, kept his balance. He's about 2 yards shy of the first down, but at least it brings up third down and short.
If this game continues on the course it's on, Bob Stoops will move his record to 9-5 against Mac Brown in this series. And I just think, you know, sometimes, you know, we take for granted Landry Jones and how good he is.
Right.
We take this guy for granted too, I think. You know, sometimes in college football. You know, before he got to Oklahoma, in the 13 seasons prior to him, they only had 2 10-win seasons. And he does that just about every year.
National title in 2000. This will be his 143rd win as the head coach at Oklahoma. And you put his face on the mural with Bud Wilkinson and Barry Switzer. For sure.
Texas.
Got a timeout with 11:31 remaining. Oklahoma 49-8.
ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beers, sports. Allstate. Allstate is a proud sponsor of the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Are you in good hands? And the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Things happening fast at the State Fair, Texas. If I was on that ride, I would lose my corny dog that I had at halftime, I think. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe. with Oklahoma in front 49-8. 3rd down and 2 for the Longhorns. Ash flares it out. It's complete to Johnson. He's got a 1st down. Gets down near the 42-yard line. Speaking of Holly.
Well, guys, some good news for Texas fans. Their defensive tackle, Brandon Moore, has been taken to the hospital via ambulance, but he did have movement that has been confirmed. They are taking him to a hospital for further evaluation. Just as a precaution, he was suffering from some neck pain, so just trying to be very careful.
That's great news. That's the best news Texas is going to have today, that's for sure. Ash, one-handed catch. Was he out of bounds? Yeah, he was. All right, Caleb Jones. He almost caught one left-handed down on a streak going the other way in the 3rd quarter. Now watch this effort.
Well, you want to concentrate on the football, but you also want to know where the sideline is. You got to be aware of both. That's something a young receiver will grow to learn.
He is an Austin product, freshman. Big target though, 6'3", 211-pounder.
A young team, only 9 scholarship seniors on this Texas team. 56% of their roster, freshmen and sophomores.
And here's a read option, and Ash keeps it, and that was the wrong option.
You know, we're seeing starters still playing for Oklahoma, but also a blend of backups. And again, talking about building that depth, why that's so important. Oklahoma's had kind of a weird schedule. You know, they opened the season like everybody on September 1st. They played first 2 weeks of the season. Then they had a week off before Kansas State. Then after the Kansas State game, they had another week off before they played Texas Tech. So last week started a string of 9 consecutive weeks that they have to play.
3rd down at 14. And a crossing route, big collision there. Catch made by Mike Davis, but Tony Jefferson, our impact player on defense for Oklahoma, unloaded on it.
They brought the corner blitz. Davis read it, got in position for his quarterback, but Jefferson, who was responsible for coverage after the corner blitz, Jefferson picked up the receiver and made the tackle count.
His 7th of the ball game. 4th down, and you got to go for it for Texas. Ash across the middle, almost intercepted. Wow.
Well, DeMontre Hurst had a 55-yard interception return for a touchdown in this game last year.
Yep.
And he had visions of another one right there.
Yeah, he was pounding on his helmet. He knew if he took that ricochet, he might have taken it to the house. 9:43 remaining in the ball game. Might be the last time Texas handles it. Never sure. Texas going off holding his left wrist, and we saw a shot of that before. The Texas folks put a towel over that wrist, and if it's not broken, it certainly has a strange looking contusion on it on the sideline. Really almost got loose. The last play going to commercial. Here's Ash in the pocket. Hit after he let go of the ball, and then the landing right there. Immediately grabs his left wrist, and you can see that's not what your wrist is supposed to look like. Second down and 5. Here's a counter to Millard, who's done a lot of damage. He's doing some more. Puts his head down and gets to the 30-yard line, the 31-yard line. And let's check it with Holly.
Well, guys, they have taken David Ash to the locker room. As he walked past me, I was able to glance at his left wrist, and it is significantly swollen already. Immediate swelling. He was holding it, supporting it with weight. You know, I don't want to go out on a limb and say it's broken yet. I'll certainly confirm that, but guys, it does not look good for the Texas quarterback right now.
Yeah, thanks, Holly. That's Case McCoy that's warming up. He knows he has to come back in because Ash's day and maybe his season is done. And I'm going to clear up something else after this next snap. 1st down and 10 for Oklahoma at the Texas 31-yard line. Play action. Jones throws the out, and Kenny Stills out of bounds Another first down. As Ash went around to the locker room in the tunnel, he held up one finger, and I think all the Sooner fans mistook that for that he was holding up a finger saying, "I'm #1." But Todd already told the story a little bit earlier. He's a deeply religious young man, and that was to a higher power that he was pointing, not that Texas was #1. So anyway, just anybody that might watch this game on a replay, I wanted to put that out there for the Sooner fans so they didn't think something different, because some of them did boo and they weren't quite sure what his action was about, but that was it. Here's Whaley, and Whaley, an opening for another 11 yards.
Aaron Ripkowski, the fullback in the game now, kind of getting some of the reps that Trey Millard had most of the game. He's the guy leading the way. Speaking of quarterbacks, I'm a little surprised that Landry Jones is still in this ball game. I know that they're still in this drive, but it'd be a good opportunity to get either Blake Bell or Drew Allen, somebody some reps.
Number 19, 5-yard penalty.
Plus, you got to think at some point Bob Stoops will pull him out so the fans can appreciate his 33rd career win, which is the all-time record.
And maybe that's what he's doing. You know, I mean, when we talked to Bob and I asked him that question, he got pretty animated in his response.
He said for one thing he followed Sam Bradford. That was a tough act. They won a BCS game and they came back and had a little bit of an off year, and all of a sudden this guy doesn't know how to play quarterback anymore just because they lost one game this year. And Bob did get pretty animated talking with us about that, feeling that he shouldn't receive the criticism that he has from the fans. Here he is throwing to the end zone and incomplete. Quandre Diggs, nice play on the ball.
Well, he had Millard also. The same play they scored on earlier, the play fake that brings the linebackers in. He had Millard right in the middle, chose to try to go outside, and it was incomplete.
Second down at the 15. Texas will blitz. Whaley will run right into it. No gain on the play. They'll bring up third down and goal at the 15.
When you run blitz, you take a gamble just like you gamble when you blitz against a pass, because if you miss a lane, there's nobody in the second level of your defense. And we've already seen a couple times today where Oklahoma has gashed the Texas defense with a big run on a blitz when the blitzer goes right by the ball carrier.
Now a third and goal from the 14. 3 wideouts to Landry Jones left. He comes back the other way on a fade to the corner to Brown, and he's got it. Justin Brown, touchdown.
Well, they kept going back to it. I mean, Landry tried it about 3 times. And in most every case, Quandre Diggs was in good position. He was in good position again in bump and run. The difference is he's 5'10". Justin Brown 6'3". It's a jump ball, and the offense wins.
Good looking play.
Yep.
With 6:41 remaining. Last year, Oklahoma put 55 on the Longhorns. And in 2012, they put 56 on the Longhorns. 56-yard drive in 7 plays. Justin Brown, one of our impact players. Landry Jones with a scoring toss. You're watching ESPN's College Football on ABC.
My first year as head coach in 1973, we beat Texas 52-13, and at that time it was the most points ever scored on Texas. So we hung half 100 that day, and we like to say in Oklahoma, let's go hang half 100 on someone, and we did that day.
Today, Oklahoma's a half 100 and a half a dozen. 56-8.
I didn't expect this.
Me neither.
I thought Oklahoma was a little better coming in, and I think they're a lot better going out. But Oklahoma has some real interesting challenges left on their schedule.
Kick is deep. And Johnson won't bring it out. bring it out to the 25-yard line as we take a look at our good hands play, brought to you by Allstate. David Ash, one of his miscues today, but a great play, great hands by Eric Colvin, the junior cornerback. They picked on him once, got away with it, went back to the well, and they went back one too many times. He was waiting for the next one.
He's had an outstanding season.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's one of those guys that is playing with tremendous confidence that gets better and better each game.
So Case McCoy in at quarterback for the injured David Ash. He and Ash shared the quarterback duties last year for Texas. As Jonathan Gray, the freshman, goes out across the 30.
This is Saturday, not Thursday.
I got you, partner. Case McCoy, Colt's younger brother. Cochran is down, the right tackle. Apparently he's okay. They'll just have to retie or retape over there on the ankle. The Golden Hats, that's the trophy that goes to the winner. It looks like it's going to Norman for the third straight year. Case McCoy, keep it on the ground. Johnson dancing around, going nowhere. Might have lost a yard, in fact. Oklahoma schedule, Todd was talking about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, there's some interesting matchups. Again, they play 9 games in a row. This one right here against Notre Dame will be very interesting. And then right after that, they go to Iowa State, who really took Kansas State right to the wire today before losing 27-21. Remember, Iowa State and then West Virginia. That's the other one. In Morgantown. Oklahoma traveling to Morgantown will be interesting late in November.
That Notre Dame game in Norman will be a big one if the Fighting Irish keep winning. Flag comes in late. We have a pass interference call, I think, on Gabe Lynn.
The reason I showed the Iowa State game right after Notre Dame, you know that's going to be a high-impact game, high energy, a lot of hype if both teams continue to win towards that game.
Holding. Defense, number 23. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
But Iowa State was the team that derailed Oklahoma State's national championship hopes last year with a win out in Iowa State. And so tough place to go play, as is Morgantown. I went to Morgantown a couple times during my career. And it's a lot shorter to get there from Penn State than it is from Norman, Oklahoma.
First down by penalty at the 40-yard line. Empty backfield as Shipley comes out to the near side, and McCoy's first throw upcoming. And he got one in there, complete to McFarland. McFarland, nice play on the ball to go over the top of the defender and pick up 16 yards. You know,
Brian Harsin told me on Thursday he thought that this guy would be a bigger factor today, McFarland. He's a big target, 6'5" tight end. Really, nobody on offense has been a big weapon today, but he's a guy, a youngster, that potentially will have a bigger role to play in this offense.
At the 44-yard line, again, empty backfield for Case McCoy. Going to go deep. Left sideline. Got a man open, and he's got him. Mike Davis, touchdown. Some of the backup players on Oklahoma's defense, and they got shortchanged a little bit, and Davis took advantage of it.
Yeah. Lamar Harris was the corner on that side. Jesse Paulson was the safety, and nobody was close enough to Mike Davis. Good throw by McCoy.
And a flag back at the 32-yard line.
After the score, unsportsmanlike conduct, Texas number 84. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Well, that'll be one that Mac will have to write down when he talks to Marquise Goodwin. And you're trailing 56-14. You don't need an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after it's over. Nick Jordan's going to try this extra point. And gets it. Freshman kicker with an extra point to cap a 75-yard drive in just 4 plays with Case McCoy at the controls. Makes the score look a little bit better, a little bit closer than more like what it was last year. Well, not every game has a happy ending, Todd, but every Tuesday on ABC it does. TV's most fantastic comedy comes to Tuesdays this fall on ABC. So have a fun night stand with happy endings. Premieres Tuesday, October 23rd at 9 on ABC, 8 Central. This will not be a happy ending for Texas today. Will be for that guy, though, the winningest quarterback now in Oklahoma history, or it will be in 4 minutes and 43 seconds. 3 wins, 954 yards, 7 touchdowns, and an interception.
Look at those numbers in the last 3 games against Texas, too. I mean, you know, you love to win rivalry games, and you love to play well in rivalry games, and he's done both.
Thanks to the penalty, the kick coming from the 20.
They've done this once already today after the safety.
That's right. High and short, and fair catch that one if you want to, but there's nobody near the return man Clay, so he takes it and gets it all the way out to the 45-yard line. We talked about coming into the game today that David Ash was second in completion percentage to Geno Smith.
Look at the touchdown to intercept. He hasn't thrown an interception. I mean, he has barely missed any completions. I mean,
81%.
Yeah.
81% completion. Notre Dame hasn't trailed in the last 300 minutes. They play Stanford. I guess that game might be underway. I don't know. Connor Shaw of South Carolina playing tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time against LSU. And that'll be a tougher place for Connor than the friendly confines of being in Columbia.
Yeah, that'll be a tough environment. And you know what? Geno Smith, I think West Virginia will have their hands full with Texas Tech this afternoon, too. You know, the Red Raiders lost to Oklahoma last week, was their first loss, but they get another home game in Lubbock. They're better on defense under Tommy Tuberville than they were a year ago. Another Texas player down.
There's 2 number 18, so we have to wait and see. It is Kevin Vaccaro, the freshman defensive back out of Brownwood, Texas. He was coming down trying to break up the blocking and had a
Millard.
Yep, another collision with the fullback. There's been a lot of those collisions today when you're got number 33 out there.
Millard is a 256-pound hybrid player. I mean, you can't just call him a fullback because he's almost a tight end as well. Kind of an H-back. Probably the most accurate way to describe him. Today, he's had a little bit of an S on his chest. Just an H.
There he is. Get a good look at him with the helmet off. Today for Texas, their defense scored 6 points on interception return. Their special teams got 2 points on that botched extra point. And finally, their offense scores 7. But that's still only a total of 15 against 56. Brennan Clay all the way inside the 35-yard line.
We do have Blake Bell in the game for Oklahoma, getting some reps at quarterback.
Probably not going to be a lot of footballs in the air at this point, with the game no longer in doubt. But that guy was a huge part of the reason that they have such a big lead. 31 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns in the first half.
It's just good to get him into the game in situations other than just those goal line and short yardage deals where he's in on a regular basis.
Too bad the offensive balance wasn't there today. Before that loss, Oklahoma had 321 yards rushing and 321 yards passing. It's pretty good.
Yeah. That's hard to defend. I don't care who you're playing. If you have that kind of balance, you're hard to defend.
There it is now after the loss of a couple on that carry. Otherwise, it would have been 321 even. Only 42 yards on the ground for Texas, and we talked about it 3 hours ago, 3.5 hours ago, that whoever wins the turnover battle and the rushing battle inevitably wins this game. And that'll be just as they do let Lake Bell throw one. Incomplete, should have been caught. Bester, the intended receiver. Let's check in with Robert. That's a good point, Robert. Right. Yeah, it was over roughly 3 hours ago. We do have 3:16 to play out. Almost the entire half of the Cotton Bowl with burnt orange has emptied out. Nice throw out to Bester that time, complete from Bell, so that's his 5th completion of the year. He's not running the Belldozer offense. He can throw it.
Well, we've talked about the offensive balance that Oklahoma has shown today. I think their defense was incredibly impressive. The thing for Oklahoma defensively, they'll face the best offenses in this league down the road. The teams that they've played so far, Kansas State, even though they lost to them, not the most explosive offense. They still have Baylor, West Virginia, and Oklahoma State on their schedule later in the year. But an impressive performance on both sides of the ball for the Sooners.
His play, weaving his way through traffic, got through the umpire, got inside the 10, and did he score? They're going to
say his knee was down before he reached the ball over the goal line.
Spotted at the 1.
But just too many holes in the running game. I mean, you know, you got backup offensive linemen in, you got backup tailbacks, and they're still gashing the Texas defense. And I know they're tired, and I know they're playing some backups as well, but fundamentally, Texas has some problems in their run defense.
Has Oklahoma ever had a quarterback rush for 5 touchdowns in a game? We're not going to find out. We're going to give it to the guy that got him there, and he got him in as well. Brandon Clay, touchdown. Well, it's not the Sooners' fault that they're over 60 points now. They're just running basic plays, and nobody's tackling them. So with that in mind, go to the end zone. We call that the north end of the horseshoe, Todd, and that is pretty much empty of orange. The day started with it packed. Honeycutt. Extra point is good. When your kicker needs an ice bath when the game's over, you know that it's been a long day for the other team. 56-yard drive in 2.5 minutes, 6 plays. And there you get another look at the empty side of the Cotton Bowl as far as Texas fans, provided by the MetLife blimp. You can see how MetLife can provide the coverage you need. MetLife, I can do this. Well, the Longhorns are going to fall to 1-2 in the conference play. And 4-2 overall. Oklahoma will go to 4-1 and 2-1. Fun day for the Sooners.
Well, and you got to be impressed with Bob Stoops and his staff. Josh Heupel, Jay Norvell, the 2 co-offensive coordinators, Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator, what they've been able to do with this team after the loss to Kansas State. They had a week off. They came out and played extremely well against Texas Tech in Lubbock last week, and a dominant football team today. So this is a team which you want to see as you get into the month of October, a team that is getting better and better each time out.
The BCS coming out tomorrow. They got to be in the top 10, don't they?
I got to believe so. We've not seen a better team.
No, we haven't. About the 2, Johnson out across the 25. Texas having lost back-to-back games now to West Virginia, and this one 2 minutes from now. And this is what they have coming up.
you know, Baylor can score. I mean, Baylor's one of those video game offenses that puts points up and yards up. So it's going to have to be a game where Texas is going to have to get back into their rhythm offensively. They might have to do it without David Ash, it would appear. But they've got to score. They're going to have to outscore people because right now they're having a really difficult time stopping people.
And you saw that Kansas State game is the first weekend of December. That's when normally there would be a Big 12 championship game, but there is not a Big 12 championship game anymore. So if Kansas State somehow can get to that game, Texas could be a spoiler for them. They could play against the Wildcats. That's a long ways down the road, though. Speaking of Iowa State, Texas hosts Big 12 Conference opponent Iowa State on November 10th exclusively on the Longhorn Network. If you don't have Longhorn Network, go to TexasFights.com to check availability and ask for it from your TV service provider. Todd had a cameo on the Longhorn Network this morning. Did a good job, partner. Proud of you.
They had something really cool on the desk, too. I was hoping they'd let me have one before I left.
Which was what?
It was like a little round glass paperweight to hold your papers down, and it had the little Longhorn kind of in there.
What do you just kind of slide it in your pocket? You're not that kind of guy.
No, I'm not.
What was the #1 deep fried thing that somebody told us about? Deep fried bacon cinnamon rolls? Was that what it was?
We did hear that one, and I heard one of the winners was deep fried jambalaya.
Oh, wow.
That sounds heavy.
You think?
Yeah. Dense. That one sounds dense.
Holly likes the deep fried Oreos. On the sweep, it's Johnson down the sideline. Run out of bounds.
A nifty little play. That was a direct snap to Johnson. He was coming in motion, and the ball never did get to the quarterback, McCoy. It went right to Johnson, and he took it to the outside.
This is deep fried watermelon. I'm hearing. What do you do with the seeds, or do they just kind of burn up in the process? You and I got to grab some of that stuff on the way out of here. Anakin Gray again for 4 more, and we're down to a minute. This will be 3 straight wins for Oklahoma in this matchup.
I told somebody 2 years ago one of my favorite things I tried was deep fried bacon. They said, "Isn't bacon already fried?" I said, "Well,
pretty much.
Twice fried then. Let's call it twice fried bacon."
We tried the deep fried Coke balls last year or 2 years ago. Yeah. A little different. I didn't want one because they didn't have deep fried diet Coke balls. I don't like the high octane stuff that much. Crossing route, good throw, nice catch. McFarland. Texas getting positive yardage, something they couldn't do the entire first half. And now they're doing it against second and third line guys. Oklahoma. Case McCoy and a quarterback. If you missed it, David Ash, their starter, injured his left wrist.
You know, one of the things that we haven't mentioned about this game that is significant, not only obviously a great rivalry, Bob Stoops moving to 9-5 against Mack Brown in this rivalry, but from a recruiting standpoint, I mean, there are 47 guys on the Oklahoma roster from the state of Texas, 22 from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So you don't think there's a lot of high school eyeballs of players and coaches on this game that impact recruiting? Guess again.
And Bob just got doused over there on the sideline. That's why he was reacting to his players. McCoy down the middle. Really nice throw again to McFarland. 15 yards.
This is the kind of team in Oklahoma that I expected to see this season. Athletic, a little edgy, good veteran leadership. They lost the game to Kansas State because they turned the ball over.
Texas, please reset the clock to 8 seconds. 8 seconds.
Timeout and Bob's reaction. I don't think Mack did Mack take that because he was shooing his players back out there. Apparently he did. So 8 seconds back on the clock. They're going to take another shot at the end zone here, I guess. But that's why it's a rivalry. Coaches respect each other a lot. And as they always say, yeah, we like each other, but we're not best friends. There's the ice down the back.
There's a lot of ice. There's a lot of ice in that bucket.
Yep.
Yeah, that wasn't just water. There was a lot of ice.
Win number 143 for Bob. That is 9th in this matchup with Matt. McCoy thrown to the end zone, trying to one-hand it over there was John Harris, and we've got one play left. Well, last week in the loss 48-45 to West Virginia was the first time Texas had ever scored that many points and lost a game, and now they saw an Oklahoma team put up more offense than has ever occurred in the 107 meetings between these two teams this week. 677 yards of offense for Oklahoma. It is back to the defensive drawing board for the Longhorns. Final play, barring a penalty. Throw is caught, and it's a touchdown, Texas. And it was John Harris, the intended receiver on the previous play. Only makes it look a little bit better, but not much.
Well, a nice effort by McCoy to avoid the pressure. He stepped up in the pocket, kept his eyes down the field.
You know, good to see McCoy get that kind of work and be that successful with it, because they might need him to be the quarterback the rest of the year. 63-21. Oklahoma in a rout over Texas. We're going to get you out to Texas Tech in West Virginia after this break. Thanks for watching ESPN's College Football on ABC. For Todd and Holly, Brad Nessler, so long from Dallas.